Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show and tell you about Noom. Has Noom helped you? I believe it has.
Oh, that's got an app. You can do tracking. It's terrific.
It does. Noom builds personal plans that can meet individual needs. That's the thing. Takes into account any dietary restrictions, medical issues, other personal needs. That helps build a plan that works for you. And yes, so I know that you've had your own personalized program here that you've been working on. And
it's weight loss This is weight loss results that last. They stick around because you get yourself into a lifestyle change. That's what matters.
That's mainly it. You can't just say, I'm going to cut that out for a month and then go back to it. That's not what it is. So I'm glad it's helping you. That's great. And it really does. I like the psychology and biology-based approach here. Yeah. Noom Weight uses psychology. That's why they say losing weight starts with your brain, but it also takes into account your unique biological factors, Jimmy. All of your multitude flora and fauna that goes on inside of you there. Sure. Yeah. Stay focused on what's important to you with Noom's psychology and biology-based approach. Sign up for your trial today at Noom.com, Noom.com here, based on 3.5-year study of actively engaged Noom users with minimum starting BMI of 25. Individual results may vary. Visit our website for more information. Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you a little bit more about Rocket Money. It's the start of a new year. It's the perfect time to get organized, set your goals, prioritize what matters most. And for me, top priority is getting myself together here. Financial wellness, doing that, which that feels important, just feels like adult stuff that you have to do. And thanks to Rocket Money, my goals feel achievable now. They show me all my subscriptions in one place, help me easily cancel ones I forgot that I've been paying for, which happened to me, absolutely happened to me. For years, I was paying for something. I was like, what is going on here? Rocket Money found it and saved me lots of money since then, because it's been a while. So they did a great job here. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that helps find and cancel your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps lower your bills so you can grow your savings. Rocket Money has over 5 million users and has saved a total of $500 million in canceled subscriptions, saving members up to $740 a year when using all the app's premium features. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions and reach your financial goals faster with Rocket Money. Go to rocketmoney.com/smalltownmurder today. That's rocketmoney.com/smalltownmurder. rocketmoney.com/smalltownmurder.
Now back to the show.
Welch's can't make everything make sense. Like why your mom still listens to the radio or what she meant when she sent that emoji. But a zero sugar drink that's still full of fruit flavor, we made that make sense. And strawberry, passion fruit, Concord grape, and more. You gotta sip it to get it. New Welch's Zero Sugar. Let's fruit stuff up.
This week, in Toms River Township, New Jersey, when a member of a prominent, successful couple ends up murdered, there's way more than meets the eye as an elaborate conspiracy unfolds before everyone's eyes. Welcome to Small Town Murder. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Small Town Murder.
Yay!
Oh, yay indeed, Jimmy. Yay indeed. My name is James Pietragallo. I'm here with my co-host.
I'm Jimmie Whisman.
Thank you, folks, so much for joining us today on another really crazy episode of Small Town Murder, as they've been, I was going to say lately, but really for about 7 years now. They've been pretty crazy. So we're going to continue that trend today with a really, really wild story. Very quickly off the top before we get started. Hey. First of all, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you to everybody. Thank you to everybody who purchased the virtual live show and watched that for Halloween. I hope you liked our costumes.
What a party. Yeah.
Jimmie with hair is going to be wonderful always. That's going to be fun stuff.
It's I've been trying to figure out how to grow hair back. It changed my mind about all of it.
Never mind. It's hot, you said. Pretty hot up there.
Never again.
So there you go. Thank you for doing that. If you want to see us live, you can do that December 2nd. Dallas, still a few tickets available there. Not many, but a few tickets available there. December 2nd, Dallas. ShutUpAndGiveMeMurder.com is where you get that and every other thing you could think of small-town murder-based. You want merchandise? It's all there. Get in there and do it. Patreon.com/crime and sports is where you get all of your bonus material. And you go, /crime in sports. What is that? That's our other podcast that you should probably also listen to. And also Your Stupid Opinions, our other podcast. Some of you checked it out to get the Lord Calvert's review. The whiskey that will make you behead a woman in a trailer. So check that out.
Sounds like exactly what you assumed it would be.
Exactly. Episode 8 of Your Stupid Opinions features the Lord Calvert's review, so you guys want to check that out over there. But patreon.com/crime and sports is where you get all the extra stuff, the bonus material. Anybody $5 a month or above, you get a whole big back catalog of bonus material, couple hundred episodes there, bonus episodes to get into. New ones every other week, including this week, which you're going to get for Crime and Sports, which you'll have access to. You're going to get the Donnie Moore story, which if you want to hear a tragic story, my goodness, watch a man go downhill very quickly after one very important thing on the baseball field went wrong. His whole life went in the toilet. And it was over quickly after that. It's pretty wild. And then for Small Town Murder, since we did the costumes on the virtual live show, and we've all been talking about it, let's get into it finally. We'll talk about the Menendez brothers and what they did and what was done to them and all that good stuff. So we'll get into all that. Patreon.com/CrimeInSports. And you'll get a shout out at the end of the show. Jimmie will definitely mess your name up. He wants he wants to get it right. You don't understand, but just going to have a hard time. So that said, let's do the disclaimer. It's a comedy show, everybody. It's a comedy show. We're comedians, so we're going to make jokes. But that doesn't make any of this any less real. That's the thing. Nothing is exaggerated. There's nothing embellished to make it more comical or anything like that. That's the crazy part of the show is you don't have to do any of that. These stories are insane, so don't worry about it. There's none of that there. But what we don't do, what we go out of our way not to do, is we don't make fun of the victims. Or the victims' families.
Why is that, James?
Because we're assholes.
Hey, but
we're not scumbags. That's how that works. So if that sounds good to you, we're going to tell you a wild-ass story, so buckle up for that. If you think true crime and comedy should never, ever, ever go together, maybe we're not for you, but maybe we are. Give it a shot. If not, then no complaining afterwards. Let's just say that. That said, I think it's time, everybody, to sit back. Let's all clear the lungs, and let's all shout, "Shut up and give me murder." Let's do this, Jimmie. What do you say, everybody? Let's go on a trip, shall we?
Yes.
All right. We're going to Toms River, New Jersey.
Okay.
Toms River Township, New Jersey, technically, I guess it is. It's in southern New Jersey. It's about an hour to Trenton, New Jersey, which is the capital. An hour and a half to Manhattan. So still, that's still commutable. To
still
the city.
there.
Yeah, you can still commute to the city, so that's something.
It's a long day, but you could do it.
A lot of people do. An hour and a half is nothing on the East Coast to commute to work.
Fucking wild.
My brother does that every day.
Man,
every day. Yeah, so that's just normal here.
Jesus.
Yeah, it's expensive to live in the city, so you try to live as close to it as you can afford to get to. That's still nice.
And then make up the difference in fuel. Okay.
And that's what you do. Yeah. Well, luckily, if you work in Manhattan, the jobs usually pay pretty well.
I hope so.
If it's worth traveling an hour and a half for, it's got to be decent.
Yeah.
So also an hour and 35 minutes to Ramsey, New Jersey, which was our last New Jersey episode. Too fat to kill. So check that one out. I remember that one. That was his defense. I'm too fat to kill people. What are you talking about? Couldn't have done it. Yeah, it's not us. That's the defendant saying that. The county, it's in Ocean County, area code 732. Motto here, not real creative.
No.
Again, great places, familiar faces.
Oh, I like that it rhymes.
Let's make it rhyme, everybody. That'll get people pumped to come here.
Bon Jovi wrote this.
So he did. He did. That's what he gave. He wrote the jingle for the town's tourism commercial. Jesus Christ, to the tune of "Wanted Dead or Alive." So history of this town. There's conflicting stories, which I always love when people can't even agree on how the town got started. Because none of this, it's not like 1,000 years ago. This isn't England. It's at most 300 years ago, and no one can agree on shit.
A couple grandparents ago told you this story.
Different sources list the township as either being named after an English captain named William Tom, or a farmer and ferryman named Thomas Luker, who they called Tom.
Okay.
So it really doesn't matter, I don't think, honestly. You could say both. You say we like both these guys. Both of them had a Tom in their name, and we said, fuck it. That works, right?
It's just a river. Who gives a shit?
Who cares? So in 1992, as part of the celebrations commemorating the 225th anniversary of the town, official recognition was granted to the tradition that the Tom in Toms River was for the farmer who ran a ferry across Goose Creek there, which is now Toms River, Thomas Luker. So they gave it to him. In 1979, the movie The Amityville Horror was filmed here.
Okay.
So there you go.
Not even in Amityville. Nice.
No. Amityville's a little expensive, so you just go to Toms River here. Local police and ambulance workers were extras there, which is fun, I guess, here. The volunteer fire company was used to provide the rain in one of the exterior scenes by
they're just
shooting a
spraying
fire hose into the air. Yeah. Rather than the big rain machines normally used in movies, they said, "Can y'all spray a fire hose in the air?" And then that's what happened.
Maybe I'll crack a hydrant for us.
Yeah, we'll all just run around in the streets here. In the mid-1990s, state and federal health and environmental agencies identified an increased incidence of childhood cancers here from 1970 to 1995. Multiple investigations by everybody on Earth said that the likely source was contamination from Toms River Chemical Plant. Gee, shocking.
Weird.
Which had been operating since 1952. Also, the area was designated as a U.S. Environmental Protection Agency Superfund site in 1983, and an underground plume of toxic chemicals was identified.
Oh, fantastic.
So after that, a discharge pipe was shut down after a sinkhole at the corner of Bay Avenue and Vaughan Avenue revealed that it had been leaking. Toxic shit. So the plant ceased operations in 1996. So that's good, I guess. And then they said from 96 to 2001, the childhood cancers went completely down.
Yeah.
All the way down. I mean,
and
weird.
And the litigation probably still goes.
Oh, I'm sure it does. A few famous people from here, actually.
Oh, really?
Comedian Dimitri Martin is from here.
Is that right?
Yes. One of the Real Housewives of New Jersey is from here. Okay. Melissa Gorga.
Don't know her.
The kid who played the guy now, Jesus, who played Smalls in The Sandlot is from here.
Oh, really? The little guy.
And Piper Parabo, also the actress, is from here. So,
okay, I don't know.
Coyote Ugly, that one.
The blonde?
The broad and Coyote Ugly, the main girl there, who
the
John
Coyote
Goodman's
Ugly.
father was, John Goodman's her father, daughter of John Goodman. Jimmie, Jesus Christ, you know what I'm talking about. Reviews here. These are strange reviews. 5 stars. Here's one. Toms River, New Jersey is a wonderful town on the Jersey Shore. Nice people, delicious food, and many nice beaches. I recommend it highly.
Okay.
That's 5 stars right there.
And
Sounds like it.
Dimitri fucking Martin, for Christ's sake.
I don't think he's doing like an act on the sidewalk, probably.
Not.
I don't think he's...
He's not the welcoming committee?
He's doing like that old time they'd do in like casino lobbies where they'd have a guy just stand there for like 6 hours doing the same shit over and over. That's what he does, just on a street corner. I'm from here. I have to do comedy, everyone.
Poor Dimitri.
I have to do, they said all the material I have just over and over.
I would just stand here dressed like the 70s in Velcro shoes and
That's
tell
it.
jokes.
I have to. Some guy that looked like Tony Soprano told me to do it, and if I didn't, he'd hurt me. So I'm doing it. Here's 4 stars. It's a good place to live. It's a typical Jersey Shore town. Lots of traffic and tourists. There are a lot of restaurants. There is a mall, 2 movie theaters, and pretty much any business you could think of.
Yeah.
So, a place.
It's the Jersey Shore.
It's the Jersey Shore.
It's tourism. It's tourism driven. So they're going to have everything fucking corporate. Everything's there.
Drunk people will fight in the streets at night.
Oh, for sure.
That's what's going on here. 3 stars here. Overpopulated, overpriced. Schools are okay. Not much going on culturally. It's the Jersey Shore. What kind of culture are you looking for?
What are you looking for?
Honestly. Let's be realistic here. You go to the Jersey Shore. There's no opera here. Where's all the ballet?
Is that right?
Away from the Jersey Shore. That's where it is. Away from where people come to get drunk and fight with guys from Connecticut. That's why. Yeah. That's where it is.
Born to Run is on loop. Just enjoy
constant.
it.
Well, no, they do mix in some Bon Jovi.
A little bit.
You get like Bad Medicine, and every once in a while,
A Bed of Roses.
I'm on Fire plays. Like at the end of the night, I think they play that. Springsteen, just to tone it down.
Just to get everybody to go home.
Yeah, everybody to go home. Stop fist fighting in the streets, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Stop swinging bottles at each other. They're like, okay, everyone's like, oh, come on, Bruce.
The pedophile song is on now. Let's go.
Bruce said the night's over. He's going to fuck a child now. Bruce is coming on to a child.
Yeah.
The night's over.
Perhaps Little Girl was the worst lyric you could have put in that song, Bruce.
Yeah, well, that's every like 60s and 50s song.
Yeah, little girl and little baby. Oh,
that's
God.
all of it.
Don't say that.
It's the strangest fucking thing
idiots.
in the world. Not much going on culturally. Job market is competitive. Restaurants are lacking. I'm a tourist area without restaurants. That seems odd.
Right.
Beach areas are nice. Well, it's the beach, so
Yeah, right.
I would hope so.
Sand and water.
The ocean meets the fucking land. It's pretty cool.
Isn't it wild? Yeah,
It's
they used to whale out of here.
The next one, I don't understand why you would review a place if because it's all you, this next one. Okay, 3 stars.
Okay.
Honestly, my major issue with this town is that it is in the suburbs, and I absolutely cannot stand being outside of a large city. Well, you knew then go there. What the fuck are you reviewing this place for? I knew I wouldn't like it, but I came here and I don't like it. Well, then that's your fault. That's your fault. It's, I'm allergic to coconut. I know if I eat it, I'm not going to like it. If I eat a fucking Mounds bar, I'm not going to review how poor it was. I don't like those.
Imagine just only loving being in a fucking giant, loud metropolis. I can't imagine
things about everywhere. Yeah, there's good things about everywhere.
Yeah,
you just have to figure out how many of the things you like and
compromise. That's life.
Do your pros and cons lists and figure it out. They know where they like to be, so be there. Yeah. Don't be here.
And then they left there.
Population of this town right now, it's really shot through the roof. It is 95,002 at the moment. Okay. So a lot. Back when our story happened, it was more like 60,000. Okay. Which is still big, but these towns on the East Coast like this, that's not a big town. It's still like kind of in the woods.
Sure.
And it's by the beach. It just doesn't feel like a big town. Everybody who's in the story refers to it as a small town.
Really?
Just kind of the way, it's like everything revolves around the country club and all that sort of shit.
Oh.
So, so we got a different kind of, we're going away from the trailer park here.
Yeah, the country club is like the small town in the small town.
That's what I mean. Yeah,
that place is very insular. You don't experience the outside world when you're a member of a fucking country club.
Exactly. When you own a boat with a name.
Jesus God,
a named boat. So a few more females than males. Median age is a few years higher than usual. It's about 44 here. Okay. It's, average. It's the suburbs. 51% married. Low divorce rate. There's a lot of assets to split up. You don't want to. You don't want to do that.
Go through that.
Yeah. Race of this town: 82.8% white, 2.9% black, 4.1% Asian, 8.3% Hispanic. Religion here, about 48% religious, which is almost the average. It's usually 50-50. And no surprise here in New Jersey, 30.7% of the people here are Catholic.
Baptist.
As we know, Catholics are the Baptists of the South, or of the North, as we know. 9.1% Jewish.
Wow.
Hey, we found it. Let's do it. Hava, Nagila, Hava, Nagila, Hava, Nagila. I don't know the words. Hey. We haven't had it in a while. Haven't been able to sing for a long time.
That was beautiful.
Yeah, it was fun. Last election in Ocean County, 34.9% of the people voted Democrat, 63.5% Republican, 1.6% Independent. The unemployment rate here is a bit high. A bit higher than the national average, but so is the median household income, $84,928 a year.
Wow.
Which is a good sight higher than the national income. Yeah. Median home cost here is, if we go to cost of living, median home cost $368,000. So
that's fantastic.
Slightly above the national average, but not overblown compared to the income that happens here. So maybe you're going to come here. Maybe we've convinced you.
It's possible,
I'm going to the Jersey Shore, damn it. I've heard things, but none of them good. But you know what? I think maybe that's all a lie. We have for you.
They left.
We have for you the Toms River Township, New Jersey Real Estate Report. The The average 2-bedroom rental here is a little bit high. Goes for about $1,600 a month, but that's tourism is going to factor into that too with rentals, so they're going to spike in tourism seasons and things like that. 2-bedroom, 1-bath house here. This is like a small little near the shore, little Jersey Shore house. 1,124 square feet.
House.
Little nice, it's a nice little house. It's nice inside. It's been redone probably about 2009 by the looks of it, based on the granite countertops and the way that everything, the colors are. Nice. You can see that. It's not too shabby. Marilyn Monroe pictures everywhere. I don't think you get those, but that's who's coming from this house. Someone who's very obsessed with Marilyn Monroe. I don't know if that matters to you price-wise, but $289,900 for this house.
Okay.
So not reasonably priced house near the shore.
Proximity to the water, that's
not bad.
Your price is going to go up.
Not bad at all. Here's a 3-bedroom, 3-bath T-bowl for each and every bee-hole over here. 1,974 square feet. Decent house. Not bad. A little farther away from the water. Pretty nice. Just kind of an average house, but a good size house.
Yeah.
$589,900 for that, though.
Oh my God.
You're gonna pay for it.
It's steep,
Then we have here 4-bedroom, 3-bath, 2,852 square foot. The exterior is very weird. It's a very weird. The look of it looks like, look at my house. Like some guy built it and goes, look at that. Like that's what it feels like.
Statement piece.
Yeah, but there's there's waterway behind it with boat things and stuff like that. So you can have a boat that you pull out. I don't know if that goes to the
like a canal, like a
canal.
Or,
yeah,
okay,
exactly behind, like in Florida, like that.
Yeah,
we have those here. So it's 2,852 square feet, $975,000 for that though.
For almost 3,000 square feet near the water, you can own a boat. That's not bad.
It's not bad. That's what I mean. If you got a decent job in Manhattan or something, you're looking for $1 million house. There you go.
And you got a statement piece. Get after it.
Things to do here. The Comfort Food Festival. Yeah, it's a free admission. This doesn't sound like much of a festival. It sounds
Popeyes
like
and meatloaf.
It sounds like they basically they close a street down. And have people sell, handcrafted shit and Etsy stuff and live entertainment, but nobody that you want to advertise because there must be great entertainment.
Shit,
and a beer and wine garden. So it sounds like it doesn't seem
Where's the comfort food?
That's what I mean. You buy it on the streets. They'll have tents with fucking food in it. That's what I mean. It sounds like it's just kind of we shut down the street. Not much of a festival. Like there's not a lot of organization there. Unlike the Scarecrow Walk, which is all organization.
All right. The walk.
It's again returning to downtown Toms River. The streets in downtown are lined with scarecrows for this annual event.
Jesus.
Oh, yeah. For 2 weeks, the public is invited to visit and vote on their favorite. So this is a big 2-week running contest. Businesses will have ballots for voting. Look for the Scarecrow Walk poster in their window. Holy shit here. It's a Halloween thing, obviously. It says, do you think you have what it takes to enter the contest?
Have what it takes.
What's that? Some straw in an old shirt? What's the fucking? What do you have? What it takes? An old hat to stick on some?
You got some clothes you were gonna donate? Fucking stuff them with hay. That's
stuff them with hay and throw them up on the sidewalk there. Special judges. There's a People's Choice and a Judge's Choice award.
Okay,
that's what they do here. Now, entrants are responsible for bringing their fully assembled scarecrows to the courtyard in front of Town Hall. That's what I mean. Don't tell me this isn't a small town. Everybody bring your scarecrows to the steps of the Town Hall on Saturday. That's not a fucking city. That's a small town.
Come on down to Manhattan.
Yeah. Imagine about fucking 10,000 people with scarecrows at the
piling in near the Bronx.
Yeah, it doesn't happen that often. It's a small town. So they said a weatherproof sign with the name of your entry will be provided at check-in. You then get your location for placement. Scarecrows will be affixed to the light posts throughout downtown. All scarecrows must face in toward the sidewalk and businesses, not face the street.
Oh, you might scare somebody and distract
an accident. Yeah. It's, let's see. Public can only vote once. All entries must be family-friendly. Here are the rules. Scarecrows that reflect controversial social, religious, or political situations will not be accepted. That's probably best. That's probably for the best.
Yeah, and they started that after...
There's about 100. Both of us are just giggling, going, what jokes won't offend half of our fucking audience? Because... there's anybody, you get what we're saying. You know what we'll imagine.
It was Bush Jr. bending over Yasser Arafat.
There you go.
like
Let's make
that.
a joke from 2006. That's fine.
We'll leave it back there.
There you go. It's Bush bending Saddam Hussein over.
Yeah.
Some shit like that.
Something useless.
Yeah, like Bin Laden being like on fire or some shit.
That should be the jokes. It should be like they draw a line in time and anything.
Yes. Yes.
1972.
You can do a Nixon joke. Your scarecrow can look like Kennedy and have hay coming out of its brains, out of its head. That's fine. But you can't have anything
Perfectly
current.
fine. Nothing that'll upset
current.
people today.
20 years, I think, is the window. I think 20 years. 9/11 on the table, everybody.
Get after it. Let's go.
This year we announced that it's finally time for 9/11 scarecrows. So we recommend you check in on your scarecrow periodically, pediatrically, I almost said.
Pediatrically.
Check on it pediatrically to make sure that it hasn't fallen down or nobody's messed with it or, that it's still pretty good. So
is there vandalism that happens? There's got to be, right?
Yeah,
it's the
how
Jersey
would you
Shore.
not?
People are destroying these things.
Yeah, you're drunk at 2 a.m. You're going to definitely take a scarecrow head and carry it down the street with you, take pictures. So that's what's going on here. And they also have a Halloween parade that is recognized by the Guinness Book of World Records as the second largest Halloween parade in the world.
Well, where's the biggest?
Not here.
Somewhere else.
Not in Toms River. We know that much.
Yeah.
So crime rate in this town, we're interested here. Property crime right at the national average, like almost exactly at the national average. So it's about normal. So that would be a lot of, I think, your tourism, too, because that counts as drunken people in the streets and stuff like that.
Something that happened.
Violent crime, though, murder, rape, robbery, and, of course, assault. The Mount Rushmore of crime is about half the national average.
Oh.
So, yeah, not a lot of that going on here. Yeah, pretty damn safe. That said, let's talk about a very safe situation that turned into a terrible murder. Let's talk about it here. Okay, let's talk about some people, some folks that, doing well for themselves here.
It sounds like it. Shit.
Yeah, let's start with Robert here. Robert Marshall. He is born on December of 1939.
Oh.
He's from Queens, New York.
Yeah.
His dad was a salesman. His mom was a housewife. I think he grew up in the late 40s and 50s.
Yeah, very 1944.
Yeah, but Queens, Leave It to Beaver. That's what you could imagine here back then.
Yeah.
But it's not like Leave It to Beaver because his father's an alcoholic.
Yeah.
And as an alcoholic, that prevented him from keeping jobs for long periods of time.
Oh, no.
Which isn't good back then. Back then especially, like if you had worked at a couple different places, they were like, what's wrong with you? You know, I'm not hiring this man. He's obviously a transient. Like he might as well have a bindle, this guy.
Right. There's a war on and we're still firing you. We need bodies and you're still a piece of shit.
No, we're going to hire a lady over you.
And retrain that person.
You hear that, pal? We're going to hire a skirt. That's how useless you are. A skirt could do your job better than you. It's the 40s. What do you want? That's what they would say. Here she is right now. Tell him, skirt. And she'd be like, I could do my job better than you, buddy. And that's... They go back and forth.
And then we get to look at her, see?
Yeah, I get to look at her, see? She got a nice firm behind on her, see?
We're going to get rid of you and get some scenery.
Get some tail in here. So he didn't do well here. His family would have to move all the time, and they'd have to move from apartment to apartment as they'd be kicked out of places. Hotel rooms they'd stay in for periods of time. It's a tough life there. But Rob's mother was a devout Catholic and would not leave her husband.
Really?
Wouldn't leave her husband. Yeah, didn't do that. By the time Rob was 16, he lived in 10 different homes, and they were currently in Haverstown, Pennsylvania, 10 different cities.
Yeah.
And they were in Haverstown, Pennsylvania, and he was the type that felt like he was better than his parents.
Okay.
The whole time, because he was like, these fucking trash people. I'm better than them. Yeah. They don't do anything. Look at me. I'm better, which is a really funny attitude to take with your family. Whatever your family is, you are too, you know?
Yeah, or it's really amazing self-awareness to have at that age to be like, I know what it takes to make it work. Just pass some laws to let me be able to do it, and I'll figure it out. Yeah,
I guess everybody does that with their family, though, whatever it is. If you see their like my family, I saw they were like my grandmother and they were all crazy immigrants, And they were like, they'd act like I was like, wow, this is hilarious. Like I could see the humor in how they were acting because they were just weird little things that were people, whatever, didn't grow up with unless someone came from a terrible situation somewhere. And I'd be like, Jesus Christ, you don't have to act like that. And it would make me aware of that. So maybe that's what he's doing.
I didn't realize we were white trash until I was, Jesus Christ, I was probably in my 20s before I was like, oh, not everybody lives like this? No?
Really?
Is that right? Is that right?
Really? I always, interesting. That's interesting.
Not everybody knows who Randy Stoklos is.
I always modeled my shit on like TV, and I'd watch TV and go, no, none of this matches up.
That's not us. Yeah,
there was no sitcom that matched my situation.
No.
So at least you had like when Roseanne came on, you could fucking latch on to that, I guess, right?
Yeah, there was that. Yeah, I did kind of. Silver Spoons I was like, what? What is happening?
I don't know.
Why do they all like each other?
They had a goddamn train that went around the living room and outside. I don't think anyone related to Silver Spoons, and if you do, fuck you. If you related to Silver Spoons, I don't like you. You're a dick.
Must be nice, you son of a bitch.
You had it super easy.
Yeah.
Now, Rob wanted more than his parents had. He felt better than them, and he knew that this is not okay. I need to shoot above this. Problem is, I'm not real good in school. So, which is kind of, especially back then, that's kind of your way out, is to do real well in school. And
it's also like the way to define that you're better than your parents by showing it. Yeah.
In the 50s, by the time he would have graduated in like 57, by the time he would graduate, high school, that back then, if you had good grades, your life would be an easier path.
Mapped out.
You get a job, you could do decent, but he doesn't do that. He flunks the 11th grade, fails that.
Oh.
So he has to go to summer school. And while he's in summer school, he meets another young man who was forming a band at the time.
Never make lasting relationships with people in fucking summer school.
But you got to understand this, though. If you listen to like stories of like any big bands from like the 80s and 90s, most of them started from two guys meeting in summer school or like juvenile detention or
walking down the street in the same fucking shitty jacket.
Yeah, I met my friends being in trouble. That's how you meet them.
But I mean,
we all do these dumb things.
Summer school is worse than being in trouble. Summer school is like a pattern of shitty behavior, whereas detention after school is an isolated event.
Summer school was two different people. It was the people who didn't get it done during the year. Then there was like the ultra good students that were getting like a jump on something and getting like an extra credit, and you were like, wow.
There was also those two kids that got mono or some other shit disease that kept them out of school for 6 months.
Yeah, their sister had leukemia, and they had to keep going to the Mayo Clinic or something, and he couldn't. One of those. Totally.
Yeah.
Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you about the safest sponsor ever, Simply Safe. Absolutely, these people will keep you safe. It's amazing. You know that every 26 seconds a burglary takes place in the United States, according to the FBI. That means that by the time this podcast is over, dozens and dozens of homes will have been targeted, ransacked. God knows what happens here. So protect your home before it's too late with Simply Safe proactive security system. Simply Safe helps stop threats before they even have a chance to break in. Named Best Home Security System by U.S. News and World Report 5 years in a row. And by us for about the last 8 years as well. If you trust us, believe me, you want Simply Safe. So visit simplysafe.com/small to claim 50% off a new system with professional monitoring plan and your first month free. That's simplysafe.com/small. There's no safe like Simply Safe.
Now back to the show.
This show, Small Town Murder, is brought to you by BetterHelp. Get yourself some therapy, everybody. Honestly, here. We often hear about, red flags that you should avoid. Hey, that's a lot of a thing. It's become a real phrase now, real cliche. But why don't you focus also, you look at like green flags in friends and partners. Look for good things as well.
Right.
And maybe you're not sure what that looks like, though. Therapy can help you figure that out. What are positive things? What are the green flags? And then you can practice them in your relationship. It's absolutely a fact. And so, honestly, we absolutely are huge advocates for this. It really, really helps. BetterHelp is fully online, making therapy affordable. It's convenient. They serve over 5 million people worldwide. You can access a diverse network of more than 30,000 credentialed therapists, wide ranges of specialties there. Here's the coolest part. You're not getting along with your therapist, you're just not feeling it, you can switch at any time, no extra charge.
Wow.
The thing is, they want you to get help. That's it. And you can do it with BetterHelp. Discover your relationship green flags with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/smalltownmurder today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/smalltownmurder.
Now back to the show.
Yeah, I remember that.
We had a girl who was held back a year because she had mono, and then she came back the next year, repeated the same grade, but now we're in that grade with her, and she's so much hotter than everybody else. She's got an extra year on all these broads.
And mono, hot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she kisses. Jesus.
Yeah. Yeah. So Rob likes to play the drums.
Uh-huh.
So he said, I'll be the band's drummer.
Okay.
All right, so let's do that. So now he's going out. He's in a band.
Yeah.
It's the late 50s. He's playing rock
Hell yeah.
and roll. Like,
oh, boy.
pretty cool stuff. Dance
Yeah.
shit. Not, he wasn't playing like
real,
Metallica or anything.
Yeah.
He was playing,
He's playing fucking
Buddy
whatever
Holly
it is.
type shit.
Yeah.
So he is playing that. One of the first gigs they play is a going away party for the older brother of one of the band members. That's a good gig to get. Zant gave it to him. That's good. It's easy.
Yeah.
His older brother had enlisted in the Air Force and was about to take off. At that party, he meets a young lady
Hell
who
yeah.
he takes a fancy to here.
Okay.
She's only 15 at the time. He's like 17. Her name is Maria Pazinski. And he is going to be awfully smitten by Maria here.
Sure.
Now Maria, she is her parents' only child.
Uh-huh.
They're from Philadelphia. She comes from a very successful, very upper-class family. Oh, yeah. She attended Polish Catholic school.
Jesus.
Yeah, that's...
What is that like?
It's like Catholic school, but dumber. I'm just kidding. I had to. How do you not make that joke?
You have to do it twice.
We are comedians here, after all. And that's just, you can't set a plate in front of me of ice cream and not expect me to take a bite. Like, that's ridiculous. I don't mean that, obviously, but it's fucking hilarious.
Pretty funny, yeah.
It's a terrible, funny joke. So,
I wonder really what the differences are, like, other than I guess it's just everybody's last name is Ski.
Ski, yeah. No, that was a lot of these ethnic ones. They would do that. Or it might be taught in Polish also. That's also a possibility.
Oh, fuck.
It might be, imagine a Polish Catholic school back then. It's half Polish, half Latin, kids. Enjoy.
Good luck.
What a nightmare. Jesus Christ. But she was a singer there, and all the nuns liked her, so that's good. She wasn't beaten by nuns like my mother always complains of being. They tried to beat the left-handedness out of her, literally.
Jesus Christ.
She's just left-handed. She still is.
Yeah.
And it's like, they didn't like that.
The Bible was against it. What are you supposed to do?
They would whoop her ass back in the day going to Catholic school in the Bronx.
Yeah.
So her parents, especially her father, said right away, you will not be dating boys. Bringing them to the house and doing all that kind of shit.
You can do that in your 30s, Maria.
Yeah, that's later on for that. You're going to go
You got
to school.
24 years of Catholic school to do.
Yeah.
You got to do it twice.
There's a lot happening. So nice you did it twice. So that's what they want her to go to school. Her father's a doctor.
Oh, yeah. You're not dating.
Like, you're going to
college. You can figure that out
college.
after your doctorate, right?
Because back then, 1957, you fall in love, you get married, you get pregnant. Yeah. That's it for these.
It's
ladies.
over.
These girls, and they don't go back to school, and they're housewives, and that was considered fine for a lot of people back then. But if you have someone who you think can have a successful career and they just want her to go to college. So Rob, though, likes this young lady. She's, attractive,
he's not
blonde.
taken, no. Yeah.
So they start dating secretly.
Oh.
That's the other thing. You'll find a way, you know? Horniness is like water. Like water pours into every crevice. It will find a way to flow, and so will your semen. That's the point.
Telling a teenager no is best of luck enforcing that.
Yeah,
I mean,
especially no to a person, a friend or a love interest. Oh my God!
I'll hang out with. I'll be near them so fast.
How much more attractive are they now?
Yeah,
you know?
right. Yeah.
So that's how it is.
He may have broke my heart and I'd walk away, but you said no. So now when he breaks my heart, I fucking super want it again.
Now I want him back. But they continued to date all throughout the rest of her high school for 2 years.
Okay.
Without her ever telling her parents about it.
Wow.
Years. She never told her parents about Rob until she was in college.
Oh. She went to college, though.
She went to college, yeah, and then she told her parents. By the way,
I guess that's an "I told you so" kind of thing. Huh?
Yeah. By the way, I've been dating this dude for a couple of years, and I'm still in college.
You said no, and guess what?
But maybe keeping it secret kept them from getting married. You know what I mean? Maybe, too young an age. Yeah. But he also wants to do things. He's got a lot of ambition. This guy doesn't seem to have. Didn't do well in school or anything like that. But he's got a lot of ambition and a lot of drive to do things. He joins the Naval Reserve when he turns 18. He wanted to go to Annapolis and go to the Naval Academy. That was his goal, even though he flunked 11th grade, which is all of the military academies are really difficult to get into academically. They're all...
I imagine so, yeah.
Really, really, like Annapolis and West Point, I know especially, are the
You can go to boot camp.
Cream of the crop shit.
Sure.
It doesn't matter.
But we want the smart ones at the fucking academies.
Yeah, it's like really, really smart people that go there. So he wanted to go there, but he spent an entire year prepping for his SATs. Really? To try to get in, because that was his grades weren't it, but if he could nail the SATs and was in the Naval Reserves, then he could probably get in. But after a whole year of prepping, he still did like shit on the SATs.
Wow.
Not good. I'm
told those are really hard, though.
That's why you spend a year prepping for them.
Yeah. He was told the same thing.
Yeah, they're real hard. He's like, I better start prepping now, and it wasn't enough. So he does not get accepted into Annapolis here to go to the Naval Academy. He instead gets into Villanova, which at the time wasn't a real. Everybody said it wasn't a real rigorous academic type of. You could kind of just walk on in there. So he was in college. He was in the Navy ROTC program, and so he hoped that would make Maria's father think he was okay. Look, I'm in college. I'm an ROTC guy. Look, I'm in my uniform with homework under my arm. You can't get more upstanding than me.
Right. You let the fucking drums get involved in the marching band for the military.
Yeah, Dr. Pazinski didn't like this shit, though. No. He wasn't into it. He didn't like Rob or Rob's family. This is the thing. It's not about Rob. Rob comes from trash stock as well. Yeah. He wants the daughter probably to marry somebody from his country club's kid or something. Have a debutante ball or some shit. I don't know, but not.
Let's combine our powers.
Yeah. Not marry Mr. Flunk out of the 11th grade, out of work alcoholic father fucking over here, like that's
Annapolis hates him. I don't want him.
Yeah. And there was a lot of that back then too. I mean, class was a big issue back then. And this was like, they're just not in our class was his view on it. He thought that they would try to look better than they were, basically. Try to act like they were in a higher status than they were in society.
Polishing a turd.
Polishing a turd. And also that they were also spent their money badly and they weren't good at, saving.
Investments,
So, that's not what he wants for his daughter. Not at all here. But Maria wants to marry Rob.
She likes him, loves better.
He barely graduates from Villanova. He had a 1.9 grade point average. You need a 2 to graduate, but he's really good at talking people into shit. And he convinced one of his professors to change his D to a C, and then it bumped his grade point average to 2.0, which allowed him to graduate. Yep. Yeah. So he graduated in June of 1963.
Okay.
He goes to Pensacola, Florida, does some Navy flight training school. And, completes that course and was accepted for helicopter training in November of 63.
But he's squeaking by and everything. We're going to put that guy behind the controls of a fucking airborne vehicle?
Maybe he's really good at that, though. Maybe he's not good at that's what I'm saying. Maybe he's not good at that, but maybe he's good at practical things. Maybe he can really control a helicopter. Yeah. Well, I mean, fuck you. The guy who fixes these jet planes, they're not usually, they don't do great in school, but they have a mechanical aptitude for this, and that's so might be about aptitude here. Plus, it's November of 63, and we're going to be going through quite a few of these guys in helicopters.
We're going to need one or two.
We're going to be using a bunch of them. So, get whoever's willing to go up there, get them up there.
Oh, boy.
So December 28th, 1963, about a month after he does his helicopter stuff here, he and Maria are married. married here.
Against her parents' wishes?
Oh,
or
yeah,
what?
they're not thrilled about this at all.
Okay.
They're not like, we won't, we disown you, but they're not thrilled about the things
In the
here.
pictures, there's some scowls.
Absolutely here. So the first year, he's stationed in Florida, then he's stationed overseas for a while.
Okay.
So she'll come with him at one point for a little bit.
Really?
Then he's assigned to the Naval Air Station in Lakehurst, New Jersey. So he liked Toms River. It's the first time he'd ever been there. He said it's close to the beach and the base, and the houses were cheap at the time. So he said, let's settle here. Let's do it. And Philadelphia is also within driving distance.
It's right
where
there.
her family lives.
Yeah.
Close enough where, she could visit, but not close enough where they're going to break balls and show up unannounced. Yeah. You know what I mean? One of those things. So, a year after they're married, they have their first son named Chris.
Yeah.
Right away. Rob here, once he's out of the Navy, I didn't do Vietnam, so I don't know what happened with his naval experience, but he becomes an insurance salesman, which is, insurance salesman is kind of one of those jobs where it doesn't really, can you sell people shit or not? Sales it's not doesn't matter what your background is. If you can sell, you can sell.
Yeah. And the product doesn't matter. You don't have to be specific in that. It's whether or not you can fill the need of what you create the need and fill the need. That's sales.
Are you willing to batter people into submission until they give you what you want? Are you willing to do that or not?
And nobody loves insurance. You get into it.
They're bored by it. It's not like you're going to, I got this thing. It's the coolest thing ever. Well, let me see it. It's none of that. It's insurance. Oh, yeah. You pay a little bit every month, right? And you get this piece of paper. And then when you die, other people will get money. So it's exciting, right? You'll never see anything for it. You will never get to enjoy anything.
And then there's this other piece that I sell that the state makes you carry this on your vehicle. So I can get it for you at a cheap price.
So, I mean, you can get it from literally any company here.
Anybody.
I think Shaq is involved in it at some point. I think he's on a commercial. You can get it from Shaq. Really, anybody has insurance for you. Cartoon generals, it's fine. Anybody.
You can tell your wife you got insurance, and she'll say he sounds idiot. She sounds idiot. Whatever.
Cavemen, lizards, Shaq, cartoon generals. It doesn't fucking matter. Someone will sell you
brunettes
some bullshit.
with huge tits. It's weird.
It's fine. Strangely attractive brunettes with in white
giant
outfits.
Jugs.
All that stuff. So, that's what he does. Now, the thing is, he's great at selling insurance.
Really?
He found his niche. That's what I mean. It's about aptitude.
Duck to water. Yep.
If you can get a professor to bump your grade up, you might be able to sell insurance.
Great point.
Because there's no benefit to that professor.
Right.
At least this, you can sell a benefit as far as, don't you worry about your kids?
Dollars to Donuts, he sold that by saying, you never have to see me again.
I swear to God, never have to see me again.
I'll
never.
be out of your hair forever.
Forever. So he sells more than $2 million worth in his first year.
Holy shit.
Making him one of the company's top 50 salesmen in the entire United States in his first year.
Top 50.
Top 50. That's how you get, that's a guy who can get a professor to change a grade and a high-class broad to marry him.
And he may have
keep
talked,
saying broad because it's the 50s and 60s,
right.
So it's just,
he may have
that's what
talked
they're
the
calling
military out of sending him to Vietnam.
Maybe. He's like, listen, guys, I think I'd be better served here. Let me tell you why.
I could train the guys that will go.
Let me tell you why. And also, too, what's going to happen if something happens to you? Your kid's taken care of? Let me show you what I have in terms of a term policy. I think you're going to enjoy this.
Don't you want one of the best to stick around here? And because if not, then you'd kill all the best.
Suppose the North Vietnamese invade New Jersey. Then what happens? You got no helicopters to fight them off.
Training shit.
See? I'll stay here.
Yeah.
I'll make sure everything's cool.
Best of luck, guys.
All right, you guys. No, call me.
Right.
Call me. Let me know what's going on. Send letters. So the next year he does the same thing.
Wow.
And so he's making good money. This is a commissions business. Yeah. So he's doing great. The family moves up into a larger house 3 blocks away. And they have another son named John in 1971. They also end up with a Robert Jr., by the way.
Okay. All
As we
right.
know, is never a good sign. But they don't name their first son Robert Jr., I don't think.
No, we go with Chris?
I think they named the second one, which is interesting here. So that's 1971. Their third son is born. They're making money. They move to a bigger house. In 1973, they have a brand new house that they had designed and built.
What?
They hired an architect. I mean,
he's got to. What is the commission for? It's got to be 10%, right?
I don't know. I know he makes. He's making over $100,000 a year. So I don't know. It's probably not 10%. It's not
back
like a fucking
then.
Agent. Yeah.
If he's selling $2 million
in the early '80s, I know he's making that much.
Okay.
That's not bad.
Yeah, it's got to be 5% then, right?
Yeah, it's something like that. Who knows? Plus
that's huge money.
I'm sure there's bonuses and salary. I don't know how the insurance salesman.
Right.
Could
when
we
you're
find
selling multi-million,
what's
and
the
you're
commission
getting
structure?
Just math alone, that's 5%.
It's something, yeah. There'd be some kind of money. It's 5%, $100,000. So that's how they're doing here. They're building a house and doing everything, and they're acting. They're like we've arrived. You know what I mean?
What's up with that Polish daddy?
Yeah, that's how do you like that shit? And people are look up to them. They go look at them doing great. They join the country club here.
Wow,
that's right. They play tennis.
Wow.
Go to church on Sundays. Rob has a red convertible Cadillac that they drive to church in with the. Yeah, that's very East Coast. I'm doing well.
Convertible though.
Take the top off that caddy and let's hop the kids in. We're going to church. What do you say, Padre?
See my baby and my children.
I love it. Let's do this. So they would do that. They all dressed very fancily. The boys had their suits and ties on, going to church every day, and he would call his wife the beautiful Maria. He would introduce her like she was a wrestling manager. The beautiful Maria, like, accompanied to the ring by the beautiful Maria. So they're doing well in Toms River. They're successful.
Sure.
They're people do say he's known as both pushy and doesn't let anybody stand in his way. He'll run you over to get a sale for insurance and shit like that. But that's how he's got to be. He's a salesman.
Yeah,
that's how it is.
That's how his kids eat.
That's exactly right. So he joins the country club, and he's doing so well for himself.
Yeah.
By 1984, they had an in-ground pool built in their custom house. They have a timeshare in Florida.
Oh, my.
That is 80s New Jersey affluence right there. I could go down to Florida 2 weeks a year. I could go down. Not have to pay a fucking dime. You know why? Thought ahead. Timeshare.
How about that? An insurance guy got taken by a timeshare guy.
Amazing. Isn't that wild? Isn't that crazy? Timeshares were very popular in the early 80s. People actually liked them. They actually enjoyed
they didn't know that it was just such a load of shit.
It's a load of shit. So I think there's a tax benefit to some of it, though. I'm not positive.
There's got to be. Because it's a second home, so you can probably write off a giant chunk of it.
Even if it's because of the interest or the mortgage, I don't know.
And if you own a business, you can take people down there and write that off as a business trip. Yeah, there's a lot of things you can do.
You could give away nights to clients if you wanted, things like that. Yeah, you could do that. So they do that. They also have a big boat that he buys as well, and a Cadillac, and Maria is closet full of all designer expensive clothes. They're Tony and Carmela here, except what he's doing is legitimate. That's all. It's
very legal. Yeah,
it's very legal. It's it's shitty, but it's legal. So
it's not easy to do.
Nope. They have 3 sons: Robert Jr., who they call Robbie, Chris, and John are their 3 sons. Robbie and Chris have their own cars by the early 80s here, a yellow Mustang and a Jeep. Robbie has the Mustang, Chris has the Jeep. John in 1984 is only 13 years old, but Rob had promised him a Porsche when he reaches driving age. A Porsche.
What is happening?
A Porsche. Wow, that is remarkable.
Mustang, Jeep, Porsche. All right.
Wow. Holy shit, I would hate these kids in high school.
Yes.
I would hate these fucking kids. Hate them. Oh, my God. Maria is very good. She's a mother, and she does well with the kids and raises them wonderfully. And they seem like the Christmas card perfect family.
Yeah, doing very well.
Doing very well for themselves. The only thing that's in 1984, Robbie gets suspended. Robbie goes to Villanova, follows in his father's footsteps.
Yeah.
And during his freshman year, he was hanging out with a bunch of kids and drinking.
Yeah.
And an RA there, somebody's door got kicked down as a prank.
Yeah.
Because that's what dipshit kids do when they're drunk.
Yeah, especially rich dummies. Yeah.
Yes, they don't. Yeah, no consequences. So they told him that he would have to start his sophomore year at a different school and then reapply for January. They kicked him out of school, basically.
Oh, shit.
So Rob is furious at his son's behavior, embarrassing me at my alma mater, is what he's saying here.
Yeah.
So he said that you're making the whole family look bad. He had promised to purchase him a brand new Mustang convertible after his freshman year, but now he won't do it.
Not going to happen.
Not going to give it to you. Now you got kicked out. Why the hell am I going to give you a Mustang convertible for?
You blew it.
Yeah, you blew it. Those 80s Mustangs weren't any good anyway. You don't want that, Rob.
Nah,
those
boxy,
are garbage.
Yeah.
I mean, the Fox bodies are, once they get to the early 90s, are okay. They're like the 91s, 92s, but those 85s look like shit. They look like an Escort. You don't want that.
Yeah, the Escort's not a good car either.
Not great, no. And so Rob just treats Robbie like shit, and he's very mad at him the whole summer of 84. It holds a months-long grudge, whole season-long grudge for him.
You really fucked my whole life up.
You really pissed me off. So,
and that's crazy because it's not. I mean, I get under being disappointed, but to take it out on him where it's like he's already got consequences for this. I'm going to wake up and deal with you too.
And he didn't do anything. That's one of those things that if you found out that he did that and didn't get caught, you'd laugh along with him.
Right. Yeah. If there were no consequences,
that's if nobody got caught. And he was like, the next year, he was like, one night when we were freshmen, me and a bunch of my friends, we got drunk and we kicked this guy's door down. He didn't know what the hell happened. And then, they were all laughing. He'd be laughing along with him. But if he gets caught, oh, God, it's a nightmare. But kids, 18-year-olds that are away from home for the first time get drunk and do dumb shit.
Boy, freshmen, I bet they're sophomore that can't keep it up.
I would imagine.
They do the same shit. Yeah.
Yeah, too much whiskey. That's why they can't keep it up. That's the problem.
Yeah. And the juniors and seniors, the only ones that do that are the ones that are on the football team.
Yeah. So this all leads up to this whole summer. Think about it. New cars floating around and kids swimming in in-ground pools and the beaches nearby. And they're what a life, What
a time.
Even with dad mad at you, not a bad life. Thursday, September 6th, 1984 comes around. Normal day. Everything's, normal. Chris isn't there. Chris is away at Lehigh University. So he's not there. He's just started his freshman year just now, September 6th. Rob was working, and John went to school. And Robbie here, Rob the father, goes to he's working. John goes to school that day, and Robbie didn't have classes or work that day, so he slept in. He's hanging out. Maria, mom, Rob, dad, and Robbie had lunch while on Rob's break from work. On Rob's, they had a lunch break, then Rob went back to work. He and Maria were planning on doing what they do pretty much once a week or once every other week now. They have kind of a steady place they go. Yeah, they go for dinner and then at blackjack. Then they play blackjack at Harrah's Marina in Atlantic City.
Oh, they're running up to AC.
Yeah, they do dinner and gambling.
On Thursday. That's
on
lovely.
On Thursday night. Yeah. Isn't that nice? They're living a fine life, these people, really.
True. Going on the night that nobody's there.
He's
beautiful.
45. He's fucking, that's not a bad life. So he's a really big gambler, Rob. He loves to gamble. Yeah, he's gotten into it. He named his boat Double Down.
Jesus.
That's how much he likes blackjack. He named his fucking boat Double Down.
Not just gambling, but a specific game.
He's going to have a second boat called Split Those Aces pretty soon. It's going to be very interesting. Yeah. So he also organized casino bus tours here at the same time. He would do that, and he would do all that kind of shit. Like he was.
What is a casino bus tour? Where you just get on a bus and go to different, like a pub crawl, but a casino crawl?
Yeah, get a bunch of people going. Yeah, a bunch of people are going to go to Atlantic City, and he rents the bus for $500, and then he makes $200 profit taking them.
Yeah, but that seems
Easy
fucking
money.
Conflicting to gambling, where like if you get on a fucking streak, now it's time to go over to fuck all of you, I'll meet you there.
That's what it is, though. That's how it is. Yeah, my racist nan used to do that. She'd go to Atlantic City on like a bus. Yeah, like all the other old ladies, they'd all go on a bus and go to Atlantic City for the day.
But what if you're doing great? What if your fucking machine's hitting and you don't want to walk?
What, you get a room? Those were old ladies. They're going home.
Well, you don't know. Maybe the fucking manager's going to come over here and give me a breakfast and a room. We don't know.
If you're doing that, well, get a taxi home, but get your own bus.
Point.
But, come 6 o'clock, the bus is leaving. Get on.
Yeah, good point.
Let's go, Edna. Get off the blackjack table.
This streak has to end at some point, I guess.
It's got to, yeah. So Maria isn't quite as into casinos as he is, but she does like going out and doing that. They dress up when they go out and they make it real big. And then they all know them at the casino. Rob loses a lot of money there, so they kiss their ass. And it's that sort of thing here. So they leave home about 6:15 p.m. They have 8:30 dinner reservations. And Robbie saw them on the way out, told his mother she looked very nice, gave her a kiss goodbye, and that was that. So Robbie hangs out the rest of the night, watches a little TV, calls his girlfriend.
Hell yeah.
You know, that kind of shit. Goes to bed around midnight.
Yeah, God, he's living it.
Having a decent night. So there's a guy named John Heckler, Hechler. He left Harrah's Casino in Atlantic City on September 6th, late night September 6th, almost in the 11:30 or so at night. He spent the night at the blackjack tables, losing some money, I'm sure. He said he got on the Garden State Parkway, looked pretty empty. He was driving home. He went through a toll plaza and noticed in his rearview mirror there was a car coming up super fast with high beams blazing on. Okay, as the car passed by, he recognized the car. It was a 1980 Cadillac Eldorado, and he said he recognized the car because he had seen it at Harrah's, and he recognized the people in it from Harrah's.
Oh,
I know those people. So the car just zoomed by, though, and he said after a few seconds, the taillights disappeared. I mean, it was fucking...
Really going?
They're going 90, and he's just going the speed limit. So he said that once he couldn't see the taillights, he didn't know if it was going so fast that it was ahead of him or if maybe the vehicle ran off the roadway.
That fast?
Maybe somebody fell asleep at the wheel, and maybe that's why they were going fast, and, that sort of thing. So he catches up to the car eventually because it stopped.
Oh.
He sees that it had gone off into what was the Oyster Creek picnic area at the time. Okay. And this guy says the car was stopped, headlights turned off, taillights on, which to me means
foot on the
brake. As you do when you park somewhere, you turn the headlights off, you'll keep your foot on the brake for 20 fucking minutes before you go, oh shit, what am I doing?
Yeah.
Why do I have my foot on the brake? It's just one of those weird things. So that's what he sees. He didn't get out of his car and offer any help or anything. He just saw they were there and then went home. So
what a guy.
Nice guy there. I know those people. Yeah, we were there. Fuck them. I'm going
Is that
home.
that guy that was sitting next to me? Sure was. Gotta go.
Oh, they must be fucking in trouble. Oh, well. Doesn't even say you guys need me to call somebody for you because there's no cell phones in 1984. You want me to get to my house and make a phone call?
Hope you find what you need. See you around.
That looks like a pain in the ass. He's going to ask me to do something. I don't want to do that.
I'm drunk. I can't have the cops stopping.
Yeah. So a little while later, Bob Gladstone, let's enter him into the picture, better known as Lieutenant Bob Gladstone.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
of the Ocean County prosecutors, or of the homicide department here. Now, he had been sleeping. It's 2 a.m. at this point when he gets a phone call, 2:15 a.m., and they say a woman's been shot to death in a picnic area off the Garden State Parkway.
Oh, my God.
That's the call. So he gets there in less than an hour. He finds a white Cadillac with 42-year-old Maria Marshall inside. Okay. She is face down across the front seats. And at first it looked like she was asleep, he said. But then you could see the bullet holes in her back.
Oh, Jesus.
And realized that she's not asleep. So they said that he said, well, was she alone? What the fuck here, basically? They said, no, her husband was with her. He has been taken to the hospital. He was bleeding from the head. Okay. So they took him to the hospital. So, yeah, it was very dark there. There's no lights. This is a picnic area for daytime.
It closes at dusk, so we don't put dawn? What is it, dusk? It's
dusk. Yeah. Closes at dawn. Party all night at the picnic area. Woo!
We don't bother with lights when it's closed at dawn.
No.
When? God damn it.
Want to try that one more time?
Yeah. Those two have always confused me. I don't want to talk about it.
The movie From Dusk Till Dawn.
Jimmie
saw
to remember
12 times.
that.
He still didn't understand which was which. He was like, I don't know what's going on in this movie.
Why are the vampires so mad? It's the daytime.
It's day. What is it? What? Dusk? Fuck. Every time.
And every time I try to remember it that way, I try too late in the thought, and then I go, wait, which one is which?
Yeah, you need to go ahead of yourself. Like when you're thinking, is it I or me here? Yeah, it's one of those. So where am I?
So I just I just skip using those words.
When the sun goes down. Let's go with sundown here.
Which also is shitty.
It's also, that's also shitty. So, hey, everybody. Just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you a little bit about Sono Bello. You know, the most known secret with celebrities and influencers and all these famous people is so many of them have had lipo. They've had lipo, whether it's a little touch-up here or a total makeover.
Yeah.
Nobody has a perfect body. That's the thing.
No.
They may look like it on TV, but there's things that help that. Absolutely. Lipo now has changed, and Sono Bello's been at the forefront with using LAL technology and getting those beautiful and natural outcomes for each person. Looking real natural. Our friends at Sono Bello are offering their best deal. You're now included in their winter savings event, but appointments are limited, so please get on this. Sono Bello doctors are masters in micro-laser fat removal, a brilliant technique that removes stubborn fat permanently. Wherever your problem areas are, tummy, love handles, thighs, arms, it's gone in one comfortable visit. Eating healthy and workouts are great. Keep doing that, but if you want to lose that stubborn fat in one visit, check out Sono Bello. Save big during their winter savings event. Schedule your free consultation now at sonobello.com/smalltownmurder. That's sonobello.com/smalltownmurder.
Now back to the show.
Hey, everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you a little bit more about our stylish friends at Quince. That's right. Let's go elevate your styles, people. Yeah. Get it going. Look good out there. And you can do it now without breaking your wallet, without breaking the bank, because at Quince, you can get high-end, versatile pieces at prices we can all actually afford, which is very nice. You want to get good stuff that lasts and it's good, and they have quality stuff that's very affordable. And you can do like we did, upgrading our stuff here, while still being a very reasonable price. Quince only works with factories that use safe, ethical, responsible manufacturing practices, along with premium fabrics and finishes. It's all quality stuff. You're going to love it. Trust us, it looks good. And I've got the leather jacket. It's a very high-quality item. Real nice, soft leather. Yeah. Jimmie's got his linen pants he's rocking.
Yeah, they're terrific.
Come on, be like us. Be fashionable. Get in there with Quince. Indulge in affordable luxury. Go to quince.com/smalltownmurder for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. That's QUINCE.com/smalltownmurder to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/smalltownmurder.
Now back to the show.
Hey, everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you a little bit about a very cool place, Thrive Market. Yes, we are both looking to get into the healthy swing this year. The problem is I don't know what's in everything, and I don't know if even I'm qualified to even read the labels to know if that's good or that's bad. Right. There's chemicals in things, and there's things floating around. I don't know what I'm doing out there. One of my favorite features, and I know you were talking to me about this, is the Healthy Swap Scanner in the Thrive Market app. Yeah, it's simple. You scan any item, and it'll instantly suggest a cleaner, healthier grocery alternative, it's great. Amazing. Yeah. That's great. Thrive Market also takes the guesswork out of finding these safe, healthy foods. For example, like I'm trying to get my protein intake up for energy. I'm always moving around. I need stuff. And I love that you can filter their site by the high protein options. Nice. It's very cool. And you can personalize this portion and you can put filters on it. And get ready. You should be ready for a junk-free start to 2025. Get ready for it and head to thrivemarket.com/smalltownmurder and get 30% off your first order plus a free $60 gift. That's THRIVE market.com/smalltownmurder, thrivemarket.com/smalltownmurder.
Now back to the show.
This very dark, like we said, nothing there. There's tables, trash cans. They said there's a lot of not really shielded from the roadway. You can see cars going by as they go by, but there's also a lot of trees, and that kind of muffles the sound of the cars. So somebody might not have heard anything. They said that it looks like the Cadillac pulled in and stopped about 100 feet from the end of the asphalt blacktop, where there was a cinder block restroom structure with no lights on in it. Yeah. Also, again, you're not supposed to be here after dark. So they said the right rear tire of the vehicle was completely flat.
Oh.
It pulled in pretty far. So they said a state police officer tells this Lieutenant Gladstone all the info that he could get here. Rob, they talked to Rob. They had talked to Rob before he went to the hospital. Yeah. They said Rob said he and Maria left Atlantic City around midnight. They had some dinner and some gambling. They passed by the toll plaza, and he felt some vibration in the car and thought it might be the tire, so he pulled into the picnic area to check the tire.
Yeah.
That's what he said. He said, so when he was looking at the back tire, he said a dark sedan pulled into the area and stopped by his car about 30 feet away. He said he ignored the vehicle because he didn't see anybody exit from it. And he thought, somebody else maybe stopped to take a leak or something because it's the only time you can pull off right there. So, it's a rest stop. What the fuck? Right. Somebody might be resting. I know I'm resting, as Joe Pesci would say. He said that he went to Maria's door, and she opened it, and he asked her, would you please pop the trunk in the glove compartment there? That's all his cars are. So he said, I want to fix the tire. He said at that point, according to Rob, as he turned away from Maria, something hit him on the head and knocked him out.
Okay.
He was cracked in the head with something, lights out. That's all he remembered, is turning away from Maria. He said he has no idea how long he was unconscious for, but when he came to, he saw Maria had been shot.
Okay.
So he said he couldn't wake her up. He tried to rouse her, so he ran out into the roadway and tried to flag down help in the middle of the Garden State Parkway. Which at 2 a.m, that'll stand out. Someone will notice that. So
especially a dude with fucking just blood running.
Hey, help me! I think you'd go around him. Jesus Christ, I don't think so. So he also said that he had over $2,000 in cash in his pants pocket from the casino.
Still has it?
That's missing.
Okay.
So he got robbed too. So he got cracked and robbed, and they stole his wife. They shot his wife on top of it.
Wow, what a terrible night.
Sounds like a terrible night. I don't care how you did at the tables. That's a bad night.
Awful.
So, So Lieutenant Gladstone was interested in this because he said, as he looked around everywhere, and this is just his immediate, you're looking over a crime scene, and he's just trying, as one does. Not us, but, people with experience and things.
As they do,
As they do. He's looking it over, and his first initial response is, he said, it's really dark here. How the hell did anybody expect they were going to change a tire?
Great point.
Yeah, because there's no cell phone flashlights. I mean, that sort of thing.
Yeah,
there's
you got to keep track of fucking 6
lug
bolts
nuts
and lug nuts and Jesus
hubcaps,
Christ.
Cadillac hubcap and all that shit. But they said this would have been really hard to do that. This is ridiculous. He said, why did Rob continue on past the toll booths, which are busy and lit up and a good place to either get help or to see your tire?
And where cars are stopping.
That's the other thing. Yeah, and instead choose a picnic area with a sign that says right in the beginning, closed after dark.
Right.
So they're like, that's really weird. But now he says that Rob told the cop that he didn't hear the vibration until after the toll booth. So that explains that.
Yeah.
They said, well, it's about 3 more miles down to a Roy Rogers restaurant at the next exit. Why not go down there? Why would you do that? Also, why would somebody hit Rob in the head but shoot Maria twice in the back, mind you?
Why you just hitting the threat to you?
Yes, exactly.
And then destroying her.
That doesn't make a lot of sense there. So that's an interesting thing. They said the tire seemed to have a clean cut in it with no signs of having been driven on flat or low it was low on air.
Yeah,
as we remember from our large-headed friend in Oklahoma.
Yeah, the sidewall gets
Jenks,
fucked up.
Oklahoma, you don't know that a tire is going flat. You don't predict it and go, it's going to go flat, I better pull off. You stop and it goes psh, and goes to the ground.
Yeah, I knew it.
It's flat. You feel it for what is that? Is that what the fuck is a broad shitty? Is that shit? Oh, god damn it. And then you have to pull over and you drive a half mile on it no matter what. Fuck, god damn it.
A friend of mine just gave me a ride home. And while we were driving, he was like, what is that fucking noise? 5 miles, James, on a flat tire. Neither of us recognized it.
That's what I mean. That's how it goes. That's what you do. So you're going to see it's going to be all mangled, wrapped around shit. So they said this, though, no anything like that. And while her handbag is missing, so there is that, but she's still wearing a gold necklace, gold bracelet, 3 rings, including a diamond on her finger.
Yeah, you don't kill people, take a couple grand and some things, and then be like, I came up enough.
That's good enough for me.
Right. If they've got more, you take all of it.
If you're in for a murder, you're taking everything, I would think. Yeah.
Yeah.
So at the hospital, Rob gets 5 stitches and then he's discharged. So 5 stitches on his head.
She got shot how many times?
Twice in the back.
He gets 5 stitches.
5 stitches, yes. Which is not a lot of stitches.
No.
It's a little cut.
That's a very small cut, yeah.
Yeah. He was on his way out of the hospital when homicide sergeant Danny O'Brien bumps into him here.
Yeah.
And it happened on a state parkway. So because this happened on a state parkway, this O'Brien is not allowed to take a statement from Rob without having a state trooper present. Because that's their jurisdiction.
Yeah.
State trooper jurisdiction.
Fascinating.
So, that was a thing. But he told Marshall, he said, Rob said he was headed home to, quote, break the tragic news to his sons.
Okay.
Yeah. So he said, well, hold on. Before you do that, hang back a minute and till cops get here because we'd like to talk to you. There's a trooper coming and we'd like to talk to you. So they said, this cop said that he was wearing a blue blazer and tan slacks. He didn't look seriously injured or anything. Wow. He said, looked like he was about to go to the yacht club. Which, I mean, he was still in going out to dinner clothes. What's he supposed to do? Yeah. Change into a more somber ensemble? Like,
before you put these stitches in me, I need to get the visiting the hospital gear.
Yeah, is that a thing? Is there a sad my wife got shot outfit around here I can put on? So,
do you guys have silly. My sweatpants and stuff here?
Yeah, that's being a little picky, I think, there. Look at him all dressed up. Well, yeah, he came from somewhere. Jesus Christ.
He doesn't just have sweatpants and a shirt with a worn-out collar in the front.
Holes in his pants and shit. Hey, guys. Does this look sad now? Oh, he looks reasonably sad, I guess. So now the autopsy here, while they're talking to him here, an autopsy is being conducted on her. She's been shot twice in the back at very close range with a .45 caliber, too.
Jesus Christ.
That is a big old gun to shoot somebody close range at, man.
Oh, my God.
The 2 entrance wounds were so close that a 50-cent piece could cover both of them. That's how
both
close
of them cover
the
them.
Holes. That's how close.
But not on the front,
boom, boom.
I guarantee that. That is a big hole in the front.
One bullet exited the front of her chest, the other through her left breast.
Uh-huh.
So tore up her way out. Yeah, that leaves a big one on the way out.
Oh, boy.
The trajectory of the bullets, as well as a .45 caliber bullet found lodged in her left forearm as well, there's a third bullet here, indicated that she'd been lying down with her left arm under her. Oh, no, that's the second bullet when she was shot.
Yeah,
so her cause, came through and boom.
God damn it.
Her cause of death had been massive hemorrhaging caused by her left lung, and the main artery of her chest was lacerated. So just destroyed her inside. Yeah. So they said it would have been instant death. I mean, those two things together, boom, done. They said whoever shot her obviously wanted to kill her. This wasn't well, not trying to wing her or anything here. No, so
this isn't warning her of what's to come.
Yeah, and the lieutenant said, this to me looks like an execution. This looks like somebody pissed somebody off, and this isn't a normal killing here. So by 5 a.m., here comes Rob going into his son's bedroom.
Yeah.
Going in to tell Robbie, Flick, that he's got, blood on his shirt, and he's crying, and he says, Mom's dead. Here. He wakes up Robbie and John, tells them their mother's not ever going to come home. She's dead.
Yeah.
And by the way, I got cops with me here, so put some pants on. Rob offers the cops drinks. They say no thank you, and he's taken to a precinct for an interview. He said the same thing he said earlier, but now he adds that he said the car had not seemed right almost immediately after leaving Atlantic City, and had only gotten worse the farther north they traveled. So that's what it was. So they answered the questions. He's been married for 20 years. They had no problems. They had some financial issues from time to time, but he said that was due to Maria's excessive spending and living beyond their means. They tried marriage counseling as a result of that at one point. At one point, he said, quote, to be perfectly candid, he said that Maria had been, last couple of years, suspecting me of cheating on her, and I never cheated on her, though. That's crazy. Okay. But she suspects it, though, so that's out there. They said, did you kill your wife or have anything to do with it? He said, no, absolutely not. I love my wife. No, of course not. Jesus, what are you kidding me? Christ's sake, what are you, nuts over here? Yeah. They said that they were doing all of that. They said before the interview started, while in the squad room and in the car on the way back to his house, Rob fell asleep both times.
Really?
Which is number one. At one point, I see this both ways. They always, and it's a kind of a cliched thing. If you get 3 suspects, put them in the boxes, and whoever falls asleep is your murderer.
Yeah.
The homicide cops really do that. That's a fact. They want to see if you fall asleep. They're like, well, he's checking that box. That's the first guy I'm talking to, the one who fell asleep, because innocent people don't feel comfortable being in a fucking interrogation room, and they pace back and forth because they're like, why am I in here? What the fuck's going on? They knock on the door. They look through the window. Guilty people tend to go, well, I'm caught, and they relax and go to sleep.
This is where I'll be forever.
At the same time, he's an insurance salesman that's probably been up since 6 o'clock the previous morning.
Yeah. Yeah, and dude,
and he's 45 years old, so he's going to fall asleep. Yeah.
If everybody stops talking for 20 minutes, I'll fall asleep.
That's what I mean. I will nap while watching a show I was waiting to watch. You know what I'm saying? Like, I will fall asleep.
Yeah, I fall asleep with the most anticipation ever.
Yeah.
Like, this is going to be, I can't wait to watch this.
We'll fall asleep sometimes in the green room.
Yeah.
When 1,000+ people came to see us and we're super jacked to do a show, and we're just like, huh, what? Oh, we got to go now? Okay, yeah. All right, let's do this. So I can understand him falling asleep, and that doesn't, to me, make him guilty. But shortly after 9 a.m. here, that Friday, so we're going to do a timeline here. That was 6 a.m., 7, now it's 9 a.m. On September 7th here. Gladstone, the lieutenant, gets a call from a former state policeman who is now a private detective. Okay. He turned, retired cop. A lot of them are private detectives.
They love it.
Yeah, it's easy money. I used to be a cop. People think that you know what you're doing.
I know shit.
Yeah, I know some shit. And also that says I know a lot of cops, so I can get information on people that other people can't get. I can get reports and blah, blah, blah. This guy's name is Fred Grasso. Now, Grasso tells Gladstone that Maria had been a client of his in the private investigation deal, and that she was the nicest lady anyone could ever hope to meet. Sweet lady.
Why was she his client?
Well, he said he was first contacted by her in December of 1983 following suspicions that Rob was having an affair.
Right.
There you go. He said they met in the parking lot of the superfood town because she did not want to be seen going into his office.
Okay.
Because everyone knows who they are, because it's a small town, regardless of how many people are here. That's the thing. Yeah. If you care about people seeing you go into a place, you live in a small town.
That's a small town. Yeah.
Whatever the amount of people is, that's a small town. Doesn't matter. That's what a small town is.
Nobody will ever see me going in anywhere.
Anywhere. In Phoenix, I never once thought, what if someone sees me going in here? No, never. Never even thought about it. So, they did all of that. They met there. She gave him $100 bill in the parking lot that day, saying that she needed to pay him in advance due to the way she put it, the way our money's disappearing.
Oh.
So I don't know if I'll have money next week to give you. Now, Grasso said he thought Rob was kind of a piece of shit. He quote, considered him a schmuck, which I think is a great.
It's very, very.
A guy named fucking Fred Grasso. I thought he was a bit of a schmuck, if I'm going to be honest with you. He's a bit of a schmuck.
Very New Jersey.
Yep. They said to anybody that Maria would have as an enemy, and he said only one I could think of would be Rob. That's it. The only person that she's ever had a crossword with is Schmucky over here. So, Yep. So not long after talking to Grasso, Gladstone gets another phone call from an attorney. People are just, it's 9 a.m. This is,
my God.
They didn't start the murder thing till 2 a.m. In the first 7 hours, he's getting people are calling with information. This is great. So for him, it's terrific. So another person calls here. This attorney named Michael DeWitt. DeWitt had gotten Maria as a client in December of 83 from another attorney, Tom Kenyon, who also referred Maria to Fred Grasso. When Maria told Kenyon her suspicions of Rob cheating on her and who she thought he was cheating with, this Kenyon, he said he knew the other woman. He said that's why he passed her along, because he said that might be a conflict of interest for me because I know this woman, so I'll help you find another counsel. That's how she got DeWitt and the other one. So DeWitt said that Maria's problems weren't just that Rob was unfaithful, but he was having an affair, by the way, according to the private investigator. The affair was with the local high school's vice principal, by the way.
Oh, shit.
Take me in your office and give me detention, honey. That's what he's saying. They were also, as a matter of fact, not as affluent as they seem and are in deep financial distress as well.
Deep financial distress.
That's the way he put it, this attorney.
Uh-oh.
He said that Rob had sent the family into financial ruin and attempted to fix or disguise the problems by getting a $100,000 home equity loan, to which he had signed Maria's name on the loan application without her knowing it.
Without telling her. Jesus.
Without telling her, yeah. So DeWitt had prepared a divorce filing for Maria and a bankruptcy petition as well to get her out from under his debt and all that kind of shit. But Maria didn't want to. She wanted to save the marriage, much like Rob's mother.
Right, his mom.
That's why people look for people like they're, you know what I'm saying? She'll think I'm a piece of shit, but stay by me is what he thought. That's what he found. He found a woman nice enough to put up with his horse shit. So she, at that point, became seriously concerned that her husband was involved in criminal activities as well, all the way through the summer of '84, including using and selling cocaine. She thought he was doing, possibly.
Jesus.
That's a big step up from selling insurance, but okay.
She thinks her husband is in a cocaine ring, cheating on her, spending all the money. She thinks she's married to one of the worst men on the planet.
Yeah, she thinks she's Carmela Soprano right now.
Yeah, she does.
Yep, and she said she thought he was falling into the underworld of the Atlantic City casino scene.
Wow.
Yep. So then that happened. Then DeWitt had once again prepared another divorce filing for her in July of '84. Just keep one prepared, I would say, for this one.
Keep one on deck.
This included the name of Saran, S like Sarah Ann, except with just one A. Sarann. Saran.
Oh, okay.
Saran
wrap with two N's.
Exactly. Saran Kraushar. 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 Kraushar.
Is that the lady from the school?
Yes, that is the Pinelands Regional High School vice principal here.
And that's the girl that he's banging.
That's the lady he's having a little affair with here. So
Jesus.
This lawyer prepared a notice which would place a lien on the family home, keeping Rob from using it as an asset to borrow more money, which is what you have to do. Papers were ready to go on July 26th, but Maria said, nope, hold up.
Don't pull the trigger.
Not quite yet. Why? Because they were going on vacation on the 27th, the next day.
It'll ruin the vacation if I bring this up.
She said maybe this vacation, literally, she said, well, maybe this will solve it. She hoped to get it all resolved privately and get him to admit to everything and then go to counseling or whatever the fuck. So
maybe he'll go down on me and realize that I'm better than...
Yes.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll have, sex by the beach and feel like a young people again. So
fix it all.
Fix it all, man. He won't want to bang any vice principals when I'm done with him. So DeWitt had seen her again in mid-August when she stopped by his office to pay her bill. Then, 3:30 p.m. that day.
Wow.
So they had a busy morning talking to lawyers and investigators.
Yeah.
3:30 p.m., Saran Kraushar here.
What did she say?
She is brought in at the end of the school day. That's why it's 3:30. They waited till.
Yeah.
They bring her in. She demanded 2 lawyers before she would speak to the detectives.
2 lawyers?
2 lawyers. I got 2 I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
Not just 1 lawyer, 2 lawyers. They're going to confer, talk to me. I'll talk back to them. It'll take a while.
My God.
So there was 2 detectives. One, she was advised of her rights and she's not under arrest. Anything she said is voluntary. Mm-hmm. Then she said, okay, fine. Yeah, all right. If you're not accusing me of it. Because she was like, oh, shit, guy I'm fucking's wife just got killed.
2 lawyers.
2 lawyers, which is smart, I think, at that point.
Not bad, yeah.
And they said, no, we don't think you did it. And she was like, all right, then, fine. Yeah, we started fucking in the summer of '83. Been over a year.
Yeah.
Yep. She said that Rob was unhappy in his marriage and told her that Maria was possessive and spent all the money.
Yep.
That's marriage. I mean, both people would say that about both people in a bad marriage. He's possessive, she's possessive. This one, it's already not going well. And she might be possessive because she knows he's having an affair too. That's also when you're positive through investigative means that someone's having an affair, you might start to be suspicious of them.
Karen looks possessive by screaming, "You're nothing but a whore." But all she's trying to do is keep her own life together.
That's the thing. So she said that, he's unhappy and all that. She herself, by the way, was not happy with her husband. As she's also married.
God.
Let's get this more complicated.
Dirty. I like it.
Yep. She said that she and Rob said they decided they were going to leave their respective spouses.
Yeah.
They had rented a beach house in Manahawkin, as well as they have a joint safety deposit box and just signed papers for a joint checking account.
You two.
So they were
so deep in this.
Deep. They were so deep. They did paperwork. This was planned.
Financially deep.
Yes. When you tie your finances together, that's
together?
Next level of fucking,
You're
that's
both
way more than
still
bodily
married.
fluids.
You can't do that yet.
Yeah, that's crazy. But that happens a lot in these stories. How many stories have we done where there's dudes
at least
still married that
right?
have joint checking accounts with some other lady? It's crazy. They also had a downtown post office box. That was where they would leave each other letters and tapes declaring their love for each other in their post office box.
Wow.
Yep, one would come pick it up. Oh, good, he left me a tape. So,
wow.
Yep, in the week following Maria's death here, that's when we'll find out. They pretty quickly decide to announce to their families that they're going to be together. Okay. That's wild. The kids are not thrilled about that, as you can imagine.
No, I can't imagine. Yeah.
Hey, I've been fucking this lady while your mom, before she died, really. But now that she's dead, I'm gonna bang her like publicly. You guys cool with that?
I did notice that there is an opening in the household, and I've gone ahead and filled it, just so everybody knows.
No shit. Oh, it's all taken care of. Don't worry about it. Spot in my bed, all claimed. So Saran said that she had seen Rob the day before, about 4 p.m. They'd met in one of their favorite parking spots and chatted for about an hour to an hour and a half.
What a relationship. You got a favorite parking spot.
We sit in the parking lot and eat in our eat fucking fast food in our cars. Rob complained about having to go to Atlantic City because Maria insisted they go. So they part. That's what he told her. They parted around 5:30. Saran had gone to a Toms River gym to lead an exercise class, then gone to a birthday dinner for her father with a small group of friends.
To lead she's a smoke show, huh?
Oh, yeah, I think she does. Okay, this guy, his wife is pretty, too. It doesn't make any sense. None of this makes any sense. Rob had called her at school that Friday morning after he told his sons about the murder and to tell her that Maria was dead. She said he broke down crying and saying he didn't want it to be like this. He told her the same story he told the first officer and, just I got hit in the head. Don't know what happened. She also remembered that Rob had been experiencing financial difficulties and she was aware of his $100,000 second mortgage on the house. Nice that he told his mistress and not his wife, who's actually financially responsible for that $100,000. What a nice move that is. Jesus Christ. So she's allowed to talk to her attorneys for a few moments here, and she added that before Christmas '83, Rob had told her that the insurance he had on Maria would take care of his debts.
Oh.
So that was 10 months ago. Huh. She said that he wished Maria wasn't around and asked her if she knew anyone who could, quote, take care of it.
Oh, boy.
Because assistant principals at schools, that screams, a murder contract. Well-connected in murder circles. Jesus Christ. A 14-year-old that could probably take care of this for me. So Saran told him that if you're serious, I don't want anything more to do with you. I don't want to fuck. That's what she tells the cops. I don't want to fucking be with some guy who help him kill his wife. It's a little deeper than I want to get here.
Who's willing to murder so that we can fuck. This is too much.
It's kind of sexy that we're both having affairs. That's making me, that's making my car seats moist when we sit in our parking spot. But the rest of this is getting a little creepy. So she said no, she wouldn't do that. He did. She also provided him with the name of someone she knew who had run-ins with the law that might be able to help him. If you do this, I don't want anything to do with you, but here's a guy I know, is a very mixed message.
Here's the baddest dude I know.
Yeah, here's a guy that gets arrested a lot. So on the same day, again, Friday, September 7th, this fucking Gladstone is having a busy day. He gets a call from Philip Gerard, who's an insurance agent, that felt unsettled, he said, and concerned when he heard of Maria Marshall's murder.
Really?
According to this guy, on September the 3rd, which is Monday of this week,
Yeah, 3 days ago.
Rob had contacted him and saying he wanted an insurance policy taken out on his wife in the amount of $100,000.
Oh, like the second mortgage money?
Like the money he owes. He said he was in a big hurry to get the policy taken out and into effect to the point where he wanted the paperwork and medical examination done within 48 hours.
Holy shit.
By Thursday.
Yeah, by the time I go to dinner.
Yeah, he's looking on Amazon going, will this get shipped before I have to leave to go out of town? Shit, it says it'll be here on the 2nd, but will it?
It'll be the next day.
It'll be the next day, sitting on your porch. You'll see it. You'll hear your Ring doorbell notification.
You're on an airplane.
Your Simply Safe thing will go off, and you'll go, God damn it, look at it sitting there. I need that jacket.
I just landed here.
So he said that he and his wife were leaving on a vacation at the end of the week, and it was imperative that the policy be enforced by then. Mm-hmm. So this guy arrived at the home on Thursday, September 6th, around noon, 2 hours before the medical examination was conducted. She had a medical examination conducted at 2 o'clock in the afternoon before she died.
Oh, my God.
So they said that they were they did all the paperwork as they were headed out to lunch with Robbie.
Yeah.
So at the memorial service, by the way, this is Monday, September 10th. Yeah. By the way, this is over the objections of Maria's parents, who are super Catholic. Rob had her body cremated.
Oh, you dick.
As soon as the autopsy was over.
Yeah.
Which is suspicious at best.
Very suspicious, yeah.
The memorial went on. There's about 150, 200 people that show up, and, Rob goes from guest to guest and talks to people and, all that kind of shit. 2 days before the memorial, though, Saturday.
Yeah.
He sat his sons down, Robbie, Chris, John, and he says, we're going to have the memorial for your mother on Monday, but someone I got to talk to you about, and that's Saran. You need to know about her. So this is a quote from Robbie. Quote, my dad told Chris and I about his affair with Saran that Saturday. I remember being really, really mad here. He said, then the next week she came over. Chris left. He wouldn't stay when she was there, but I stayed because I wanted her to feel uncomfortable.
Wanted to see
I wanted her to feel uncomfortable.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yep. I didn't want her walking around our house, my mom's house, and thinking things like, hey, I could get used to this. It wasn't her house, and I didn't want her to feel as though she was welcome.
Fantastic.
I mean, that's fair.
Yeah.
Fair. I mean, Christ.
New mommy 48 hours later? No, I don't want it.
And he also warned his father that some people are going to think you're, this is going to look bad in police circles, I would imagine.
Yeah.
And, but his father said that, listen, that's going to be normal. People are going to talk. He said it's very common for the husband to be considered a suspect, especially if he was there. So no worries, though.
I'm not worried about it.
Okay. So now Chris, the one who was away at school, he said the moment his father had come into his dorm room on Friday and told him that something had happened to his mother, he said he wondered if his mother had suffered, if she was afraid, did she say anything? It looks like she was sleeping in the car, leaned over on the console, and got shot in the back. That's what it looks like, because the bullet went through and went to her arm, which she had.
Oh, right. She had her hand up, yep.
So they think that's what happened to her. So they said that his father only had vague answers, and that didn't help. He said, why didn't my mother run away to get out of onto the parkway, try to get help if somebody was bum rushing them, or why would she just lay there? What the hell's going on? He said that he wondered if his father was involved. It made him feel terrible, made him feel bad and disloyal and all that kind of thing. And he said it just felt bad for him, and he didn't like it, and he couldn't. He said he didn't want to tell anybody that he was suspicious because he felt bad talking about his dad.
Couldn't reconcile with the feelings. That sucks.
Yeah. So now Rob's brother-in-law, let's enter him into the picture here.
Maria's brother?
I believe so, or maybe Maria's. It's got to be, no, Maria's an only child. So this is Rob's sibling's husband.
Got it.
Because Maria's definitely an only child. So his brother-in-law, Gene Leahy, he's an attorney who lives in Wilmington, Delaware.
Oh.
So he's got an attorney in the family. When he heard of Maria's murder, he got right in the car and drove up to Toms River, and accompanied by Robbie and John, they went to Philadelphia to tell Maria's parents of her death.
Wow.
So, so then they told, obviously that Saturday, they got told about the affair with Saran. He also told Gene that day. Rob tells Gene, his brother-in-law, and Gene wasn't surprised. He told Rob that Maria had known all along and had put together a file with American Express charges to various motels in the area and had found a secret toiletry kit that he kept for his affairs with Saran. Yeah. As well as tapes with various love songs and love proclamations. She knew everything.
Yeah.
She had it all.
He's bad at this.
He's not. He thinks he's slick as fuck, this guy.
Right. And he's
he thinks
lazy.
He gets away with all. The only thing on earth he's good at is selling insurance.
Yes.
That's what it seems like to me.
Everything else he's terrible.
He's not good at anything else. So Jean said that. Maria had called Jean on Tuesday, September 4th. And Jean said she'd been frantic, saying everything was coming to a head and she was ready to confront her husband then.
Oh.
Yep. She wanted Jean to be there when she did, and he agreed. To keep it cool and calm. Keep it all professional here. He and Maria planned to sit down with Rob on Monday morning, September 10th, which turns into her memorial instead.
Wow.
So Jean had looked at the facts, as he said, as logically as he thought he could muster. Mm-hmm. He said that he was told by Rob that Maria had $1.5 million worth of life insurance.
Holy.
At that point, Jean said, well, everything's pointing to you then, because that's a lot of fucking money. You're having affairs. You're having all this money. She's about to divorce you. None of this looks good for you, bro.
And then she dies, and you just have a bump? Dude, this isn't good.
This is crazy. Rob said, no one would think that about me. He literally said, I'm a country club guy, and they know I'm not. Everybody knows I'm not a bad guy. No one would accuse me of that. That's what he thinks. Yeah. He thought his status could just make him fine now. But his friends have some doubts. One of his a couple here, Sal and Paula Coccaro, they've been friends with Rob and Maria. They said they met at the country club. They met them at the country club, and they said they loved Maria. She was great. They were horrified by her death. They said they had joined the marshals for dinner a week before Maria was killed at Harrah's, and Sal remembered the dinner conversation he had with Rob. Rob had talked about how he kept at least $1 million in insurance on Maria for a good selling point, and that both of them had decided to be cremated when the time came. They said he mentioned it several times. Why do you keep bringing up cremation at dinner? That's weird.
I know I overcooked this steak, but you know what that reminds me
of? He also said, though, that Rob said he was going to start taking every Friday off from work to devote to his family as a means to try to,
just fix my life.
Fix shit with Maria and all that she'd done for him and all that he'd done to her. Rob said that it had rekindled their relationship into a full-fledged romance. That's why they were staying out late Thursday night.
Yeah.
He's told Sal how, you should do the same. He said, always make sure your work's done by Thursday, and you should spend Friday with your wife. You owe it to her. That's what you should do. Sal said that he was a little bit pissy about Rob's patronizing lecture. He's like, fucking tell me how to
my relationship's
run my marriage. Yeah, tell me I'm fine. I plow my wife on a Wednesday night. I don't need it to be Friday. I don't need a fucking day off. Leave me alone. I'm fucking Sal. I plow her on a Tuesday. What does it look like?
I wake her up 3 a.m. She loves it.
3 a.m. I say, roll over, sweetheart. Come on. It's time to ride the Sal train.
I wake her up sucking on her thighs. What do you want?
Oh, man. That's right. So he said that Sal said he was growing pissier and pissier here. Then on September 8th, Rob sat down with him. And after he talked to Jean Leahy there, Sal said he was even madder and madder because Rob told him, he just told everybody that day, oh, by the way, I have a ton of financial problems and I'm having an affair. Just so everybody knows.
Now fuck your wife on Friday.
Now fuck you. Now go home and fuck your wife on Friday. I do also, you should bang another chick on maybe Tuesday, Monday, you know what I mean? But by Friday, be ready for her.
You'll be good and stiff by then.
And act horny, too. Act like you ain't been in with nobody else. That's part of it. You can't act like, I don't care about none of this. So, yeah, he just tells everybody. I guess so they don't read it in the newspaper. And then, because if he says it, he can spin it. If they read it in the newspaper, then he can't spin it. Then they're going to form their own opinions. He's a salesman. Rob was blaming Maria for the financial problems and all that kind of thing. Sal also knew who Saran was and was friends with her husband as well. Why? Because this is a what, Jimmy?
It's a small town,
This is a small town. When everyone in the story knows each other and they're afraid to be seen going into an office, you live in a small town. So he was aware of her reputation for being flirtatious with the husbands of other women, but actually he said that her nickname around town was Toms River's own Madame Bovary. That's what they called her.
Okay.
So she just went around.
She's just a nice, sweet
throwing
lady
tits on people.
Yeah, who's just flirty.
A little horny, yeah. Well, also she's having an affair and everything else.
But does Madame Bovary? Well, it's Madame. Is that a loose gal, Madame Bovary? Or is she
it's
just
definitely
really nice?
not saying she's the one to go to for your accounting every April when taxes are due. I don't think so. He said that Sal said it made him angry that Rob didn't seem to have any concern for the grief his sons were feeling, any of that. So Tuesday, September 11th, Robbie, as he's leaving his house, Robbie is confronted by several reporters that are waiting outside. Now we've come to this. They ask him questions. Did you know about the affair? Is your father in debt to casinos? Does he owe people? Does he sell coke? I mean, they're asking him all these questions.
Yeah.
He's like, holy shit. He said, they also asked him, have you heard the rumor that your father's going to be arrested for your mother's murder?
Oh.
Yeah. So he said, what the fuck? So he was trying to be polite. He said he was trying to be like his mom. Yeah. So he politely declined to comment, but said that if the reporters knew his father and seen his parents together, they would know there's no way his dad was involved. Oh. That's what he said. Later that night, Rob, he's feeling very sad, obviously. He made a love tape for Saran that night.
What kind of love tape?
He put some of their favorite songs on there.
Oh, my God, a mixtape.
Oh, he cried about how much he loved and missed her and told her that the entire experience has brought him closer to God.
Oh, Jesus, really?
The balls on this guy. Holy shit. Robbie says this about the whole situation. He couldn't believe this was happening, and this is what he said to the press on his front lawn. Quote, "It always feels like when you live in a small town, you're tucked away from crime. And when it comes and invades your little circle, it's devastating. People just can't imagine that anything could happen in such a small little town like Toms River." We're going to get 100 messages that say, Toms River's not a small town. That's why I keep reiterating this. If
residents keep saying it.
Yeah. Sorry. If they feel like they're in a small town, it's a small town. So then the next thing comes on here. During the memorial service, the attorney, Michael DeWitt, brought his file on Maria Marshall to the lieutenant, Bob Gladstone. Uh-huh. DeWitt thought one particular thing of interest was a note Maria had sent him on July 23rd, along with the words, "Holding my own, pray for me." She had attached 3 telephone numbers with the area code 318 that she had gotten off of their telephone bills and said, Can you look into these? DeWitt found out 318 is Western Louisiana.
Yeah.
So Gladstone, though, the cop is able to get a printout of the toll calls made from, because it's not a local call, so it's going to show up on the phone bill, made from the marshal's home and from Rob's office.
Yeah.
From his office. That it's not one of the kids. It's not Maria. It's got to be him. For the 6 months prior to this happening, okay? Mm-hmm. First number on the list was for a hardware store in Shreveport. Insurance agent in New Jersey has to call a hardware store in Shreveport.
Is hardware Shreveport?
How many nails do you have? Okay, good. Just checking. Click. You guys need insurance down there?
So, he's insured for water damage?
Anything? That number appeared on the phone records over 20 times starting in June of 84.
What? Who
over
works there?
20 times. The last call being made on Wednesday, September 5th. Second number belonged to a 47-year-old man named Robert Cumber. His nickname better be Q or I'm very disappointed.
Yeah.
Cumber, just like cucumber. He lived in Bossier City, which is just outside of Shreveport. Cumber's number appeared on the Marshall phone records 10 to 12 times. Cumber worked at the hardware store in Shreveport.
Okay.
So now, that's where the hardware store makes difference.
That's why we're calling him.
That's why it makes sense, not difference. The third telephone number here, appearing a few times on the phone records, was for a payphone located outside an Exxon gas station 10 miles west of Shreveport. How many times have you called a payphone outside an Exxon station 10 miles west of Shreveport? That's the most random site I can think of. I couldn't think of one more fucking random than that.
I've never called a payphone at an Exxon station 10 miles outside of anywhere.
Never mind Phoenix. So, Then they get more information from the phone records. Thursday, September 6th, Rob had called Saran at work at 9:46. At 9:48, she called him back from a different line, which she neglected to tell the interviewer, they said. She didn't say that. Their call lasted 10 minutes until another call had come in for Rob at 9:59. That call came from a payphone at the Airport Motor Inn in Atlantic City.
Oh.
And I have to take this.
This is an emergency.
Yep. They also, 2 days later, they figured out that 8 minutes after the 9:50 a.m. call, someone had called the payphone at the Airport Motor Inn from a payphone outside a 7-Eleven store 5 minutes from Rob Marshall's office.
Payphone to payphone now.
Payphone to payphone. Payphone to payphone.
It's got to be a love song, right?
It is. It's the one from Twins. It's
Is it?
Brother to brother song. Payphone to payphone. Yeah.
There it is.
We watched Twins the other night. It was great.
Did you?
I haven't seen it in years. That's fucking wonderful. Me and Sarah were laughing our asses off. So the September 11th, the detective traveled to Atlantic City and the Airport Motor Inn. Looking at the motel's register, they discovered that a James Davis of where? Shreveport, Louisiana, had checked in shortly after 7 in the morning on Thursday, September 6th, and checked out the next day. Davis paid the rate for a double occupancy as well. So there's two people there.
Yeah.
More insurance info. They said in addition to 2 separate $100,000 policies that Rob had taken out on Maria in the years earlier through his own company, which he had told everybody, by the way, that was a good sales technique to tell everybody that he had this much. Right. I have so much on my wife. She has it on me. He also took out a $500,000 policy with a different insurance company, Banner Life Insurance, in September of '83, a $500,000 policy with the Manhattan Life Insurance Company in February of '84, $100,000 policy with the Fireman's Fund Company in February '84, a $100,000 policy with the Minnesota Mutual Life Insurance Company in April of '84, then another $100,000 policy that he rushed into effect the week she died.
Wow.
That is wild. $1.2 million of the insurance policies had been obtained after his affair with Saran had started. So the original, $500,000, they're a wealthy couple. That would make sense for them to have that kind of insurance money on each other. That's how it goes. But the rest of this, little much.
But he is really to be a beacon of society and a member of this community that is affluent and very wealthy. He's stretched us so thin, offering Porsches to children.
That's what I mean. It's all the way for the looks of it all.
Yeah, it's to be better than his parents.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. I will be better than my parents, and my wife will stick with me just like my mom did.
Or else.
Other info here. Thursday, September 14th, Gladstone, the lieutenant, studies records he got from a credit check and a Harrah's Marina. The Harrah's report showed that Rob had made 25 visits to the casino between January '84 and September 6th.
Okay.
25.
Oh.
He played blackjack for roughly 93 hours and 7 minutes over the course of those visits, because they have video of everything at a casino. They keep
How much money can you lose in 93 hours?
His average bet was $131.
Okay.
You can lose a lot of money.
Yeah, you sure can.
In that guy. His credit limit, he had a credit limit. He had credit there.
Oh, God, Jesus.
Was $10,000. And at the time of Maria's murder, he owed the casino $3,000. So he's still well under his limit. The $100,000 home equity loan that Rob had forged in Maria's signature had been raised to its $130,000 limit in the spring of '84. In April, Rob had taken out a $20,000 loan from the First National Bank of Toms River and another $15,000 in May. He followed that up with a $30,000 loan from Navy Federal Credit Union and a $12,000 loan from Citibank.
Okay.
Over the summer, he applied to raise his credit limits on his Visa and MasterCard, and they both denied him.
Rakuten is the smartest way to save money when you shop because you earn cash back at over 3,500 stores. Fashion, beauty, electronics, home essentials, travel, dining, concert tickets, and more. Your favorite stores like Lowe's, Levi's, and Nike pay Rakuten to send them shoppers. And Rakuten then passes on a part of that payment to its members as cash back. You're already shopping at your favorite stores. Why not save while you're doing it? It's a no-brainer. Membership is free and easy to sign up. Get the Rakuten app now and join the 17 million members who are already saving. Cashback rates change daily. See Rakuten.com for details. That's RAKUTEN. Your cash back really adds up.
Escape reality and immerse yourself in a gripping tale of mystery, murder, and romance with June's Journey. Join June as she unravels the truth behind her sister's mysterious death and use your observation skills to find hidden clues and uncover dark secrets. Plus, you get to explore stunning hidden object scenes, from New York parlors to Parisian sidewalks, as each chapter reveals captivating mysteries. How sharp are your observation skills? Put them to the test in June's Journey. Download for free today on iOS and Android.
Oh.
He's got so much out there.
Too
so
much. Yeah, he's overextended.
He's way overextended.
How about that? That's a fascinating way of living a life too. If you have a $10,000 limit at the credit at the if you take $2,000 out of your chips and go and wager that and win $4,000 and don't pay that back, you can go blow $4,000. You still owe them $2,000.
You still owe them $2,000.
You have $4,000 now.
Yeah. That's what happens.
When you just walked in there with nothing. That's
why it's credit.
Dangerous.
That's especially for a compulsive gambler. That's very for a
Holy
degenerate gambler.
shit.
That's a lot. So James Davis and Robert Cumber. Now we know these guys here. On September 15th, Friday, Lieutenant Gladstone discovered that James Davis's trip to Atlantic City on the day before Maria was killed was not his first. He traveled to Atlantic City on June 18th, but had stayed at the Harrah's Marina, which is a lot nicer than the place he was staying there. June 18th, they said, was the same day Rob had attempted to acquire a $20,000 term life policy from Bankers Life in Chicago on Maria. Mm-hmm. So New Jersey detectives asked Shreveport people if they go talk to Robert Cumber and see if he's got anything to say here about any of this shit. Yeah. So Cumber's the hardware store guy. Cumber said he met the marshals in May at a party for a family friend in New Jersey. He said that this friend allegedly had ties to organized crime and was also connected to the person that Saran mentioned to Rob Marshall.
The guy that used to get arrested a lot?
Yeah, that's what I think it is, yeah. So Tuesday, September 18th, Gladstone and the two detectives fly down to Shreveport. Robert Cumber repeats the same story about talking to Rob Marshall. He said, I talked to him about IRAs, financial shit.
Yeah.
Not Irish terrorists. So different. So he said, or whatever they are. I don't know what your angle is on that. I don't know enough about it to even have an angle or a side on that one. I don't know.
Investments.
Depends on if you like U2 or not, I think, is really how you feel about that. So they had no luck talking to James Davis, who said, I don't know Rob or Maria Marshall. I never went to New Jersey, and I don't know anything about an airport motor inn. Even though they have all the records of him going there several times, this guy calls you, you call him, you stay by him.
Never been.
Never even been in the state of New Jersey.
Well, all right.
So they're able to get a search warrant for his home based on the fact that they know he's lying.
Absolutely
they found
lying. Yeah.
A receipt for a Western Union money order sent to Davis from Toms River on June 25th, as well as a piece of paper with a notation that Davis would be receiving a $3,000 money order.
Oh.
The paper came from a memo pad belonging to a Shreveport hardware store that Cumber works at. So this couldn't all be tied together any better.
Wow.
He said Davis wouldn't say shit about it. All he would say is, it's not my handwriting.
Okay.
That's it.
Doesn't matter.
But his wife, on the other hand, Davis's wife, they told detectives, you should check out a friend of his named Billy Wayne McKinnon.
Oh.
This is getting deep, dude. We're deep in the bayou and everything else. 41-year-old McKinnon, she said's a former policeman and the kind of person who would commit murder, in her opinion.
A bad man.
A bad man.
Yeah.
Maybe
former as in retired or former as in fired?
Former as in not anymore and is possibly the recipient of a double occupancy rate. That's what I'm thinking. So they found out on September 21st that Davis had received 2 money orders from Toms River, like we said. The receipt had been found. The receipt they found a day earlier had been the second one. This is the first payment. The first one, sent on June 13th, had been for $2,500, and it has a sender on there.
Uh-oh.
Robert Marshall.
Oh, no.
Not good.
He's wiring money.
They said the second money order was sent from a different name, a James McAllister, but the handwriting on both was identical.
It's the same. Yeah.
He said, oh, shit, I shouldn't put my name on this, should I? You know what? That's a bad idea.
I probably shouldn't have put my name on the other one. Whoops-a-daisy.
Nope. I think that's what he noticed. So Cumber, at the request of the detectives, came down to the station around 5 o'clock. They read him his rights. He admitted James McAllister. James McAllister was a name that Rob Marshall used, and that Rob had asked him if he knew an investigator he could hire, as he didn't want to use one locally. Cumber had suggested Billy Wayne McKinnon. The 31 phone calls between the Shreveport hardware store and the Marshall residence were mostly between Rob Marshall and McKinnon. Cumber was merely the go-between.
Wow.
Because the guy who doesn't work at the hardware store can't answer. Ace Hardware, he's got to...
He's got to go, it's for you.
Yeah. So at 1:30 a.m., September 22nd of this year, Robert Cumber is charged with conspiracy to commit murder and arrested.
Oh, shit.
Handing that phone over is conspiracy.
Absolutely.
So 4 days later, he's indicted by Ocean County, New Jersey's grand jury on the charge of conspiracy to commit murder.
10 minutes later, he pleads guilty.
No shit. Now, Rob denies knowing Cumber, Davis, or McKinnon, but Robbie admits to having taken a message for his father from Davis in the days prior to this.
Yeah.
So Saran, at this point, on the advice of counsel, ended her 14-month relationship with Rob after news of this. Yeah, they said, you're going to look bad if you stay with this guy. So, yeah, they said that that was the hard part. She said that she thought he was somehow involved, and she was, quote, appalled by the deception, she said.
Yeah. Appalled by deception.
September 27th. Okay, this has really been a wild 3 weeks here. Marshall, Rob, checks himself into the Best Western in Lakewood.
Uh-oh.
It's room 16. He records messages for all of his sons and one for Gene Leahy, his brother-in-law.
No.
He puts them in an envelope addressed to Leahy with specific instructions on the outside that it was to be opened in the event of his death.
Okay.
The hotel clerk, who knew Marshall, because that was probably one of his fuckpot spots there, called the Ocean City County prosecutor to let the office know that Marshall's here. Everybody... Why is that, Jimmy? Who would do that? Who would know?
Small town. Yeah.
Small town. Know who to call, know who was there. Detectives were dispatched, and they took the room next door. They took room 17.
Oh,
and just hung out next door.
Yeah. We'll just listen.
With a cup to the wall. Just, anything. They watched him buy a can of soda at 10:30 p.m. and then drop an envelope into the outgoing mail at the front desk at 11:30 p.m. Seeing the notation on the envelope, they feared he might be killing himself. So they called EMS and then entered his room.
Hilarious.
He was asleep on his bed. A photo of Maria with Robbie, Chris, and John was on the floor beside him. He had mixed 50 Restoril sleeping pills in a can of Coke. That's what he got the Coke for.
Oh, yeah.
And was trying to kill himself there. So he stirred the mixture with his finger, and I guess he didn't finish the whole thing. Because of Coke, you have to drink the whole can. Sometimes you have to burp, and so he fell asleep before he finished the rest.
And all the pills were at the bottom.
Yeah, so it was enough in there to make him go to sleep, though. Counteract the caffeine.
What a dad.
What a dipshit. Yeah, this guy, he's very dad-like, unless for everything else that he's doing here. He's taken to the hospital, and then he is transferred under the advice of his attorney to the psychiatric facility close to Philadelphia. Now, on the tapes. They confiscate the tapes here. He explained that he made it for his sons. He said he was taking a shortcut out of this and would hopefully join their mother. For Robbie, he said that he had instructed Gene Leahy to purchase him a Mustang. That Mustang he owed him.
You're going to get that car, son. Don't worry.
You're going to get it. He explained that he had instructed Gene to purchase that. For Chris, it was Leahy who had been... Leahy had been instructed to purchase the lease on the Jeep. For John, it was that Leahy would buy him a Porsche when he turned 17.
I know I took your mom from you. How about a Mustang?
How about a Mustang convertible? On the tape addressed to Chris, he ended it with, quote, "Please love me." Who hasn't said that before? You know what I mean?
Please love me.
Please love me. Please.
Fuck you.
Please. I know I killed your mom and did a bunch of weird shit, but please love me.
Please love me.
Please love me. He said, "I am convinced in my mind that without and all of the other circumstances surrounding Maria's death," this is on the tape, that not only will I be indicted, but the inevitable will happen, and a jury of men and women who do not know me will be compelled to find me guilty, and I'll be sentenced to death. Not only can I not bear going through that, but the embarrassment to my family would be far worse than anything else I can think of. I want a little dignity to remain if possible.
Please.
He also... yeah.
It's the funniest shit I've ever heard.
Just a little bit. Please love me. So, other excerpts from the tapes here. Quote, as I lie here, wondering where to start, I think back 14 months ago when I went out with a lady, Saran, who for years we just winked across the pool or across the room. Nothing but a friend. A good friend. A friend that Maria didn't care too much for. But a friend of mine who was a lot like me. You know.
Dirty.
Dirty.
Horny.
Without any scruples.
Willing to fuck their whole life up.
With a destroyed moral compass. I began a relationship that developed into a torrid love affair that was going to tear my marriage apart, and if it were not for Maria's death, that would have happened within a month. I guess my problem began long before that, though really because for some reason, and I'm to blame, whatever we wanted to do or buy, we just went ahead and did it. And if it meant borrowing to do it, we did it anyway. And I always assured Maria that it was okay, that there was enough, even if there wasn't. I think she knew, but she knew that I wanted it, and I know that she wanted it, whatever it was, and we did it and created a spiral that accelerated to almost $200,000 in debt, not including the mortgage on the house.
Oh my God.
A debt that I was determined to pay off, but I just couldn't seem to climb out. Well, maybe gambling once a week isn't the best way to do that.
Yeah, when you've got $200,000 in debt plus the house, the fucking APR alone will fucking destroy you.
Killing you. He said, we were starting to work on it together, and I had emphasized the importance of spending less. And I knew, of course, within a month I was going to be leaving, and I would make the necessary changes to eliminate the debt by putting Maria on an allowance and taking whatever cash was left and applying it toward debt reduction. However, that never happened. Never had the chance, because some bastards followed us home, from what I can gather. Perhaps after tampering with one of the tires on my car, knowing I would have to pull off somewhere or pull over, and were either going to rob us or do what had to be done to take the money we had on us. The circumstances that, and then it says, even in the transcript, it says sigh. He had such a pause and a sigh that they had to put it in the transcript. The circumstances that surrounded the entire evening are bizarre. And I can only think that the police, that I think that I'm involved somehow because of Maria's actions over the last 4 or 5 months. Because of her actions.
Because of your actions.
In response to your actions,
right.
You mean.
Her reactions.
He said, I felt compelled to hire somebody who I thought had a good reputation, was from out of town, didn't mind coming the distance to make a few inquiries to find out what the hell is going on, where the money was going, was missing from the checkbook. Our cash entries, blackjack money of $5,000 or $6,000 that had disappeared without explanation. They're saying Mom was out fucking gallivanting, and I had to figure out financially what she was up to, so I needed a private investigator for that.
Yeah.
Not the bank records. So
he's got a private investigator investigating his wife when he's being a piece of shit.
Yeah, it's like, find out if she knows that I'm being a piece of shit.
Find out if she knows.
Find out if she knows. He said, I had asked Maria to turn that money over to me at one point so that we could reduce the loan, and all she could produce was $1,400, telling me that the rest had been spent on the kids' clothes and stuff like that. I find out now that what she had done was hire an investigator of her own to follow me, and that investigator, unbeknownst to me, leaked the knowledge of my affair to several people in one town, including an attorney who was a drinking buddy, Robbie and Bob Gasser. Mr. Gasser, the attorney, had discussions about this. I believe they want to pursue the matter legally if possible. Okay. The thought that comes to mind is that if anybody who knew about it, the attorney who he told, who is a friend of mine, or any of the people who the attorney told, if they had said something to me, this entire thing would not have happened because we wouldn't have been in Atlantic City that night. Worse than that, if Maria had confronted me when either she wanted to or sooner, none of this would have happened. If she would have just called me a liar a month ago, none of this would have happened. I wouldn't have had to kill her.
If she'd called me on my bullshit, then I wouldn't be covering up all my bullshit.
Wouldn't have to kill her then. It would be so much easier. He said, and Jesus Christ. And I think back at the circumstances of our last meeting with Dr. Miller, the family counselor we were going to. I found out that she, Maria, wanted to ask him privately about a letter she had written to me, which apparently was a letter telling me that she had me followed and knew everything and was all documented, but didn't matter. She wanted to start over. It didn't matter. She loved me. She would forget everything. And when I think about that now, how incredible she was, how much she loved me, how foolish I was to walk away from her. I miss her so. And so as each day goes by, it gets worse and worse. Oh, my God. Glenn Zeitz and Russ Collins, his investigator. Russ Collins knew all the details of the investigation that I hired. Unfortunately, they've been indicted for conspiracy because it appears as though they were hired for something else. I'm convinced in my mind and all the other circumstances surrounding Maria's death that not only will I be indicted, and that's when he says the other stuff, you must communicate to everybody my love to Maria in spite of our problems, and I wouldn't hurt her in spite of what seems apparent. You must also let the authorities know that Saran was not involved in any way. Yeah, sure, Dad, let me save your girlfriend from legal troubles.
We don't think she is. We think you did this.
Jesus Christ. He said, there's lots of things that are going on that have to be taken care of, Joe, and I'd like you to do it for me, please. First of all, you have my authority to release Glenn Zeitz from the civil action against the insurance companies on the life insurance policies for Maria. I want you to handle that, and hopefully I'll remember to put that in writing and leave it with this tape. I've given him $5,000 for the work he's done so far. I think that's at this point all he's entitled to, although if he gives us a bill, submits a bill for additional expenses, I believe we should pay it. But considering the limited time he's been involved, I think $5,000 should cover it. Naturally, all the life insurance on my life will not be collectible because it was all purchased within the last year or so, the same as Maria. That is to say, they were all purchased at the same time. However, there's a considerable group of life insurance contracts with Provident Mutual that will pay, and that money can be used. I've also sold the office building, and there should be close to $40,000 net after commission. I should also point out, by the way, that the premiums on all the life insurance on my life will be refundable, so a claim in that respect should be submitted to each of the companies. Jesus Christ, this guy is really...
How many fucking policies? He's chased down all these life insurance companies and get this money back.
He also said he wants Robbie to go back to Villanova in January, and he thinks that... he should continue at the county college until then. He'd like John to finish out his thing at school too. He talks about loan information, a bunch of boring stuff. He said, I'm not entitled to veterans benefits, so don't even bother applying.
He was discharged negatively?
Probably. My will and all he can do is sell insurance, and all the legal papers that you'll need are in the top drawer, left-hand file cabinet behind my desk. I gave Sam and Philip Wurtzel the condominium in Captivia, Florida, and there's a letter to that effect in the file. Okay. He said he's talking about the boys' cars and all the Porsche shit and all that kind of thing. He said, it's now 6:30, and as I lay here, I'm really tormented. 20 days ago, I prayed to St. Rita to spare me the ordeal I feel is inevitable now with a sealed indictment at the Ocean County Prosecutor's Office. Everybody's best guess is that it's got my name on it. In spite of my innocence, and as I'll say, I feel I'll be found guilty because of the circumstantial evidence that points in that direction, and I can't bear the thought of all that. Circumstantial.
Idiot.
There's so much evidence. It's all financial and telephone. It's the worst
Phone calls and financial. Dude, it's over for you.
Imagine if everyone had cell phones, how dead
Forget it. Oh,
rights
God.
They'd fucking be. He said, so I believe what I will do at 12:45 tonight, which is approximately the same time we pulled off the parkway 3 weeks ago to look at a flat tire, is I will join Maria. I hope that God forgives me, as I'll be praying right until the end that he does that. I'm sorry, Joe. Tell Jeannie that I said I recognize that St. Rita is the let's make a deal saint, and that whenever she grants something, she takes something away. This is the only solution I could find, although in retrospect, others might say I should have left it in the hands of God and all of it would have worked out. I can't see it that way. I'm scared and I don't have the courage to go through this. I'm sorry for letting everyone down and not see it through. I'm especially sorry for the boys. Jesus Christ. Then he says, when you get a chance, call Saran and tell her that I loved her and that I'm sorry for disappointing her.
I will not be doing that.
Tell her that as I speak to you, I'm in room 16 at the Best Western, where I was my happiest, and now I'm the saddest. It's even their room.
Gross.
Gross.
I'm sleeping in our old jizz puddle. Yeah, Good God.
I can feel it all over the fucking
I'm gonna die in our old jizz puddle.
Oh, my God.
Wow.
Tell her that I knew she was going back to Stanley and that I understand in spite of the feeling that I think all would have worked out for us. Could have, I guess, if I had stuck around to see it through. With her gone and her not here, I'm alone, really. I can't go alone. Tell her I love her. I tell her I wish her the best. Tell her to stay straight and tell her I said stop smoking.
Stay straight.
You do not tell people when to smoke and when not to smoke.
It's bad for your health. Being married to you is the worst for your health, sir.
He then says, something else just popped in my mind. There's two outstanding markers at Harrah's, one for $1,000 and one for $2,000. That represents the money that Maria and I came home with the night of the 6th. He took markers out to have cash to say he lost.
Wow.
I have put stop payments on the drafts. There just wasn't enough money in the checking account to cover them. I've spoken with Harrah's. They know that I did it, but I don't know if we can avoid paying them. But if not, Joe, just take care of it eventually. And he talks about his final arrangements. Bury me here. He says, give Ted Sorry a call, too. He's been an absolutely super. Tell him I love him, and both him and Sue, and I appreciate them standing behind me. Tell everybody to pray for me and Marie, and I hope that we're together. I will have made a tape for each of the boys, which will be in the attaché case here in the room. Oh, my God. Yeah, please love me is the bottom line here.
Please love me. And then he fell asleep.
He even talks about there's a client of his who owes him $400 because he sold him a table.
And he wants that money back.
So he's like, you should collect that $400 from Harry Tomberin. Get with him. All sorts of shit like that. Very detailed. I mean, he sat here. It goes on for fucking pages about very specific shit. But he does talk about Cumber.
Oh?
Yes. He says that I mentioned at the house that I said I wired money to a fellow in Louisiana to pay off a bet. In fact, that money was being sent out to the investigator that I mentioned earlier in the tape. This was a guy who was recommended by this fellow Bobby Cumber, supposed to be a very good investigator. He made 2 trips to New Jersey, one in June after I wired him $2,500. He's trying to say it's not the other guy. He said he was going to be busy for a while, but I wired him some additional money. If I did, he would come back and check things out. The objective was to do this quietly without anyone in the area knowing. As we found out, people in the area are not reliable. I suspected that from what I knew of the people that work in Ocean County, that this was the logic behind getting someone out of town. This guy would apparently work as cheap as somebody in the next state and was supposed to have a good reputation. Okay.
So he's trying to say that the money that he spent for the murder was for private investigation.
Yep. And he said Bob Cumber, he talked to him on the phone. That was just for some investment business. That's all that was, because they had talked about IRAs at a party.
Yeah. So those guys didn't come here.
No, absolutely not.
All right.
Are you kidding me?
And if they did, it was because they were investigating her while they were here.
Everybody. Yeah. And talking about our investments,
Okay.
He said the police, and again, they have a sigh in here. The police, as I understand it, have indicted both Bob Cumber and this fellow Jimmie Davis, whose name is Billy something, okay, as conspirators. And I'm convinced that the third sealed indictment that's in Toms River is for me. Oh, my God. So that's what he says. He says, fill the boys in on everything and, do all of that shit here. Talks about any other outstanding debts. Now, after all this, they talk about McKinnon here. After all of this shit, they hear that he stressed that in spite of his innocence, he worried he would be convicted on circumstantial evidence and pointed in his direction. He said that casino money had been missing, and Robert Cumber had recommended an investigator named Billy Wayne McKinnon to look into it. Marshall said he wired McKinnon $2,500 in June, after which McKinnon came north to New Jersey, then wired him a second installment of $3,000. The second time Marshall had seen McKinnon was at Harrah's the night Maria was killed, where he gave him $800. He says that on the tape. He saw him at the casino, gave him $800, and they drove away, and his wife was killed.
Wow.
This gives the detectives a reason to arrest Billy Wayne McKinnon, too.
Mm-hmm.
So they do. This is he doesn't get extradited because he fights it until December 3rd.
Wow.
And they're both James Davis and Cumber McKinnon and James Davis are both sent to Toms River here. The prosecutor's office said they're ready to make a deal with McKinnon and or Davis for the right information. Mm-hmm. And McKinnon was a cop, and he knows that
he knows what that means. Yeah,
he knows what this means. So he said he's ready to talk, but only after he heard the tape that Marshall made. He goes, I want to hear that that's real.
Yeah.
So he told the cops he was not the shooter. He says that Marshall was only going to be an easy mark to collect thousands of dollars. Okay. So that's all it was. So they played the tape for him. McKinnon commented that Marshall was supposed to say that he and Maria had patched up their marriage to the point of a second honeymoon, and that before her death, he no longer needed McKinnon's services as a private investigator. That's what he's supposed to say.
On the tape?
No, that's what he's supposed to say
Got
here.
it.
McKinnon
Yeah.
was told to say that if anyone asks you.
Yeah.
McKinnon told Gladstone that Marshall was so stupid he should be put to death for his stupidity alone.
He's the worst at organizing murder. Kill him.
Then he says, fine, I'll take the deal. I'll ID the shooter and I'll testify.
Oh, shit.
So he said that after Mrs. Marshall was killed, her and her husband knocked unconscious as planned. He and Thompson, this Thompson we'll talk about, returned to Atlantic City. On the way, he said Mr. Thompson tossed the gun into the river. In Atlantic City, he said they picked up 2 prostitutes and took them to the motel. Gotta have a little post-murder coitus, you know what I mean?
That guy's
That's
a
nice.
badass.
That's a
Watch out for him. That's a frightening person.
Kill, that guy's dead. Let's get hookers. Yeah. Jesus
You want to get
Christ.
some pay, pussy? Let's get it.
What the fuck? After they awakened, they drove McKinnon's Cadillac back to Louisiana. That's what they did. McKinnon said that Marshall had paid him $22,000 in advance. He said he told Mr. Thompson that he would collect $50,000 of the insurance money within 6 months and would give $25,000 of it to Thompson. He said that Marshall had never seen nor talked to Mr. Thompson and did not know who would be helping McKinnon.
Wow.
McKinnon said he'd suggested that Marshall be shot in the leg or the arm to make sure the crime looked like a robbery and not a murder for hire.
But he was like, was that a 45? Fuck you.
Jesus Christ. Can you wing me with like a 22 maybe? He said that Rob rejected the idea and even ordered that he not even be hit over the head so hard. Don't hit me too hard over the head.
Take it easy.
He said, so, quote, he wouldn't become an idiot for the rest of his life. Don't scramble my shit, please.
I've heard about these lawn darts. If you would just do it gentle.
Just really give me a nice crack here. So on December 19th, 1984, a 42-year-old man named Larry Thompson was arrested outside of a hot dog stand in Stanton, Louisiana.
Oh, really?
As most people are.
Having a hot dog.
So then that same day, 2:30 p.m., while he's out Christmas shopping, Rob is arrested.
Oh, wow.
Yep, he's arrested. He had been told
they got him out before. They saved him saved his life, really. Kept him out of going into debt further.
Debt further, kept him from dying from sleeping pills. Don't do this. You're going to die. They said, though, he had been pricing tickets from Miami to Costa Rica, where extradition is difficult. They found out from a travel agent. Why? Because it's a small town. So, Assistant Ocean County, Owney, as you can just call it, Owney County. Ocean County prosecutor Kevin Kelly said that during a trip to Florida in late October or early November, less than 2 months after the murder, that fucking Rob went down to Florida and met a woman named Christy and began a relationship with her.
This guy.
Yes. Began a relationship. Met a woman named Christy, then began a relationship with a woman named Karen Odell, who is the wife of a guy named Ralph Odell, who was an acquaintance that had moved to Florida from Toms River.
How does he do it?
I don't know.
How does he do it?
Golden-tongued son of a bitch over here. He denied he was engaged to Mrs. Odell, because that's what they claimed, even after Kelly produced a November 1985 Ocean County jail request in which Marshall asked for a contact visit with her, who he described as, quote, a woman who will be my future wife.
Yes. A contact visit. I need to fuck.
I need her to touch my penis. They also get elicit from Marshall an admission that he never picked up his wife's ashes. They were still at the funeral. He never picked them up.
What?
Bro, at least act like you fucking care.
Wow.
They're still in a brown cardboard box in the funeral home.
Didn't even get a nice urn for her.
Unclaimed moms in that section.
Oh, my God.
Wow, not yet. No, they give it the box and you put it in whatever.
And then you figure it out. But he left her in the lost and found.
Yep. He explained that his family had planned to bury the ashes during a Christmas vacation that was canceled because he got arrested. Because if you just wouldn't have arrested me, I would have picked it up tomorrow and we would have gone and buried it.
I was on my way to get it.
I just figured I'd leave her there for 3 months.
Christmas
I'd want those immediately. Let me take my wife home with me, please.
Yeah, I'd love to have those forever.
Love to have that. Yeah. Love to weird out all of my family and friends for the next 30, 40 years. Love to do that. It's going to be fun. So January 1986 is the trial here.
Yeah.
And there's several people on trial at the same time. I think Rob is tried with one of them here.
Okay.
And so we'll get into this. During the opening, they called it, by the way, newspapers called it, quote, the Shores Trial of the Century. Was held in Mays Landing in Atlantic County. It was moved counties because of extensive news coverage.
Yeah, too many people know. Yeah,
a big deal. It's a small town. It had everything it says from some sex to greed. It's got it all.
Yeah.
It was a soap opera for the observers, and everybody would, this was a big deal in town. Yeah. They said there was all sorts of riveting testimony. One here, Kelly, the prosecutor, branded him a coward and a liar.
Okay, not bad.
Said that he looked at his jury, pointed to Marshall, and said, and he has the audacity to bring his 3 boys in here to testify. That's obscene. He says, and I'm not being critical of them because I probably would have done the same thing, but to put his boys on the witness stand is obscene. And for that, there's a special place in hell for him.
Okay.
I'd like to help get him there faster.
Yeah.
We left off.
Yeah.
The defense said they barely have any evidence. These people are crazy.
Oh, my God.
Yes, they have several co-conspirators testifying against him, but what does that mean, really? What does that mean?
They can certainly build a case and prove it, but is it real?
Is it really? Yeah, he said that, McKinnon says that it's basically McKinnon's word versus their word at that point. Yeah. So this is Larry Thompson is the other guy. Larry Thompson is the guy McKinnon says is the trigger man. Okay. That they hired, brought
That's the guy that did
up there, and the guy that was given $800 right before it happened. So it's going to be Rob and Larry Thompson are tried together at the same time. So that's how that goes. They're both charged with first-degree murder with special circumstances. Death penalty is on the table, and prosecutors are seeking it in both cases.
Absolutely.
On both of them. So the judge who presided here, and then they got Kevin Kelly's the attorney, and Glenn Zietz is his attorney that he mentioned before. He's Marshall's attorney, and then Thompson as his own attorney. Thompson's wife, Wanda, and their teenage son stayed in the Marshall's home during the trial.
Oh, boy.
The guy
Are the kids there?
Yes.
Oh, my God.
This is weird as fuck.
That's
How
disgusting.
weird is that?
So gross.
I mean, it shows a united front, but Jesus Christ. So the state said they believed Rob Marshall, drowning in debt, wanted to continue his relationship with his married mistress and had solicited and paid for the murder of his wife in exchange for the $1.5 million insurance money. That money would allow him to start a new life, and, everything's going to be great. So Saran testifies. That's got to be rough for him.
Boy. Yeah.
She takes the stand. According to her, Marshall told her in December of 1983 he was $300,000 in debt due to Maria's spending, and that if he could, quote, just get rid of her, the insurance he had on her would take care of everything.
That's all. That's all I got to do.
If I could just kill a 42-year-old woman who's the mother of my children, I could just really get out of these annoying situations. So she testifies that he was heavily in debt. He told her all of that stuff. She said that, I guess, by the way, her husband is a very prominent car dealer, so she likes a salesman.
She does.
Who the fuck would want to spend time with both an insurance salesman and a car salesman?
Yeah.
Dude.
What's wrong with her?
I would like to sell her something because I think she's buying.
I think those are the kind of guys that say really nice things to women to try to get what they
full
want.
Of shit.
Yeah, but she doesn't. She doesn't care that they're full of shit. She just wants the compliments. It's got to be what it is, right?
I would think so. Yeah, it has to be. What else?
Has to be.
Maybe, I don't know. So now he's accused of hiring Thompson and Billy Wayne McKinnon to kill his wife so he could collect the money. Obviously, McKinnon made a plea bargain agreement that's going to limit his sentence to a maximum of 5 years in prison.
Really?
That's really light.
Conspiracy to murder.
They want those two bad.
Which worked. Wow.
Yeah. They want those two bad.
I understand conspiracy to murder if the person's still alive and you get 5 years, but conspiracy to murder, they're dead.
And it worked.
And you only get 5? Wow.
Yep. He said that the conspiracy called for Rob to stop at the picnic area, be knocked out, and robbed while he's checking a tire. He said he was supposed to tell the police that when he regained consciousness, his money was missing, his wife was killed, exactly what happened. So they talk about Saran a little bit more. They ask her. She said that Saran said that when asked about if anyone, when he asked her if anyone could do the killing that she knew to kill my wife, she told him that violence was absurd and that she would not deal with it, despite his comment that if she was not around, I could take care of the debts, and then gave him somebody's phone number, which is fucking insane.
I do not stand for violence. Call this guy.
Oh, my God. She said that 2 weeks after the murder, she was at Rob's home when the authorities confronted him with the names and pictures of McKinnon and James Davis of Louisiana, and that Marshall denied knowing them. 2 days later, she and Marshall returned to a condominium that she owned after a walk on a beach, and she had a message on her telephone from the eldest son, Robert Jr., saying that a number from Louisiana called, and he got caught lying everywhere. Yeah. He's really bad at lying here. She said before the murder, they met at hotels and other places up to 3 times a week they were fucking.
Wow.
She said they had planned to leave their spouses and rent a house. The murder stopped the plans, and her and her husband moved to the condo. She quit as vice principal, and she had to quit her job.
If your fucking plan is let's just, there's no reason we're not wanting to be with our spouses. It's just that you fuck better, and your plan is to move into a rental.
Your plan's to move into a rental and then fight with your spouses for the next 10 years. And
that's your divorce.
Sounds like a lot of fun, really,
Jesus
guys. That's great. Just fucking close your eyes and fuck your wife. You know what I'm saying? What are you doing? What's wrong with you people?
Jerk off over the toilet.
Come on, like a normal
like
person.
Rest of us.
Right? Jesus Christ. So Billy Wayne McKinnon's the star witness. He testified to using James Davis's name when traveling to and from New Jersey. He said, I used his name to check in and do all that. And that he had, if he's going to use a false name, why not use someone you make up a name?
Know.
Why use another guy in the conspiracy
to your
name?
Life.
Is everyone involved in this a complete moron? Is this a Coen Brothers movie? What the fuck is happening here? This is insane. These are a bunch of successful. Yeah. What the fuck is happening?
It is fascinating that to murder one woman, it took
all of
3
this.
Hillbilly idiots from Louisiana and a dipshit
and a mook from Queens
to ruin it.
The idiots. So he testified to using that name and said that he had first met Rob in June of '84, at which time he was promised $65,000 for killing Maria, $22,000 or so of which he eventually received. They gave him different payments. He said that Rob had wanted to kill Maria on that first meeting in June and then again in July.
Can you do it now?
Now? How about now? How about now? What about now? McKinnon said he had planned on stringing Rob along as far as he could and to continue collecting money, or at least until he heard from Larry Thompson that a contract may have been put out on McKinnon for not holding up his end of the bargain. Mm-hmm. So he said McKinnon never intended to shoot Maria, but he knew Thompson would and would have no qualms about doing it. So in September, he brought Thompson along to New Jersey, and it was Thompson who shot and killed Maria. According to McKinnon, Marshall told him that in killing Maria, he did not want anything that would destroy her beauty. No bludgeoning, no stabbing of any kind, or no sexual assault. That was part of it.
2 shots to the back will do it.
To the back. Yep. Make her an open casket real nice for the kids. Yeah. He said that Rob refused to allow himself to be shot. They said that he only allowed the shot to the head with reluctance.
That's my favorite part.
That's it. Don't make me an idiot the rest of my life.
Is it love me or is it that shit? He's such a chicken shit. He's such a chicken shit. Unbelievable.
No shit, man. So Thompson's attorney told the jury the only reason Thompson's been charged was because McKinnon needed a fall guy. Otherwise, it's him.
Right.
All the evidence, he said, pointed to McKinnon and only McKinnon. The only thing putting Thompson in is McKinnon, which is true. But still, it's a pretty good, it all lines up.
Yeah.
So, people come up, they testify about what happened here. The insurance brokers, they dot all the I's and cross all the T's about money that was taken out. Shit we've already talked about. So, he also, the sons are there. Robert Jr.'s there. Christopher's there. They're away at college, and Robert Jr. was there for opening statements. That's all he saw. And then they'll come back to testify as well. So in cross-examination by Mr. Thompson's attorney, McKinnon said that from time to time he lied to or misled Thompson and Marshall and the authorities.
Oh.
Whatever suits my purposes. He said after returning to Louisiana, he suggested to an investigator for Mr. Marshall that Mr. McKinnon and Mr. Marshall agreed to say that Mr. Marshall's payments were simply for McKinnon to come to Toms River to steal a file on Mr. Marshall's extramarital activities. Jesus Christ. So the lawyer said, you could have a story. You'd have a story you could lie under oath in a courtroom. And McKinnon said, if I were sitting over there where Marshall and Thompson are, like, I'd do it. The lawyer said, you'd lie like hell, wouldn't you? And he said, I would possibly lie like hell.
Maybe.
Yep. And he said, under oath, you'd lie like hell. And he said, possibly.
It's possible.
And he said, well, you're under oath right now and you're lying like hell. And he said, with no strings attached, I'm here to tell the truth. The whole truth and nothing but the truth. So help me God.
That's what I just said.
That's what I just said. Did you hear that? Hey, Bible guy, come back over here. The guy that held the Bible. Remember me?
That's right. Check with the clerk's note over there.
That's right. So the jury hears the suicide tape, which is not good, that whole thing.
Yeah.
He takes the stand in his own defense. He has to.
Holy.
Got no choice.
Yeah.
He said he hired McKinnon not to kill his wife, but to investigate what Maria knew or didn't know about his affair with Saran and what she did with the casino winnings he had given her. So they asked him about asked him to produce a contract for McKinnon for those investigator services, and he said he didn't have one.
I don't have one of those.
Yeah. So he just said,
that would sure help right now.
Just wired stuff. I wish I did, really. Should have had him fill one out.
I'm just willy-nilly sending money across the fucking country.
Yeah, just doing that. So when recounting the murder, he said now that he heard Maria cry out, oh my God, when he was checking the tire just before he was struck in the head. So, by the way, no one else, he never had said that before.
Yeah.
Then all the sons were like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
They thought Maria was asleep, what was going on. They were banking on that. They didn't want her to even know what happened here. So they said that in the closing here, or during this, Kevin Kelly, the prosecutor, noted that Marshall wore his wedding ring during the trial.
Gross.
He said it made him angry, feeling that Rob was playing at being the grief-stricken husband. Under Marshall's prior testimony of undying love for Maria, Kelly asked him why Maria's ashes were still in a cardboard box at the funeral home if he loved her so much.
Right.
And he, by the way, who had time to travel to Florida, begin 2 affairs after this and the relationship with the other one there. In these 3 months, he said he just didn't have any time.
I was too busy. You don't understand. I've been fucking so much.
My schedule tight. Just making sure my children are okay, and my dick's raw. I'll tell you that, raw.
It's really hard to walk.
Closing arguments are delivered, and the prosecutor ends his with a pronouncement that there was a special place in hell for the cowardly, greedy, and self-centered Marshall who had put his sons on the stand in an attempt to save his own skin.
It's not a bad argument.
Yep, he said that Marshall shook his head while his sons sobbed and cried audibly before turning around in his seat to smile at them. Whereas before, they had always offered their father's support and acknowledged the I love you signs Rob had penned on the backs of manila folders that he held up to his sons so he could see. By the last day of the trial, Robbie, Chris, and John kept their heads down, and none of them made eye contact with the father.
They do not love you.
They do not. Please love me. So, verdicts come in. They both have to come in here. Verdicts come in. This is a day and a half of deliberations encompassing 6 hours and 38 minutes.
Yeah, it's good.
Okay.
It's fast.
Larry Thompson, he's up first. Larry Thompson, for the charge of murder here, up for the death penalty. He is found not guilty.
Really?
Not guilty. The only evidence they have is McKinnon's word.
Oh,
not
my
guilty.
God.
Thompson smiled, shook his attorney's hand. The judge told him he's free to leave at any time.
Uh-huh.
He crossed the court, shook hands with the prosecutor, which is a ballsy fucking move.
It sure is. Sorry about it.
Grabbed his wife and fucking took off.
Let's get
Peace
down to
out,
Louisiana.
Bitches. Later.
Wow.
Later on, when outside the courtroom, when McKinnon was asked why Thompson named him the shooter, he said, I have no idea. He knew me well enough, I guess, to know on any given day where I was at. If it hadn't been for the circumstances surrounding this, I wouldn't have even known where I was at any given time. I could have been at the lake fishing or something.
What?
They said, did McKinnon kill Maria? And he said, I have no idea. I really don't. Everybody knows as much about this as I do. He said, just what they read about it in the papers and heard about it on TV. That's all I knew about it from the start, and that's all I know about it now, other than what was in the discovery. There's nothing in there who said who killed anybody.
Holy shit.
Yep. So they said that he was headed for a van. They asked him how he liked New Jersey, and he said, I don't know. I ain't seen enough of it to know.
I'm leaving.
I talk like I'm from here, but I ain't seen enough of it. So then it's Rob's turn.
Oh, my God.
They find Rob guilty of first-degree murder.
Yeah, because there's too much.
Split decision. Yep.
Yeah.
It's all. He's got all sorts of everything. They said at this point, his eyes rolled back in his head and he collapsed.
Oh, my God.
Yep. And as he's leaving, what they said, he's being put into the ambulance, and his son Christopher is trying to talk to him as they're closing the ambulance doors. He's going, Dad, thinking he's dead in there. His son said, quote, what can I say? We wanted our father home. How's that? We didn't get him.
Really?
He said he still believes in his father. He said, people were saying all along that we were here for my father, but we weren't. We were here in memory of my mother. We were here just as much for her as for him. He feels the same way about it, that we were here for her. I feel the same way now as I did when my mother was killed. And he said that his family would be tracking the fate of McKinnon, who was promised a 5-year term as well, and he'd be making sure he does sometime.
So McKinnon's going to do 5. That guy gets nothing. His dad's going to do however much they sentence him to, and that's it?
We'll find out in a second. And that's it. Everybody else is...
Holy shit.
Okay, now, Rob here, Dad, he gets to the hospital. They found out nothing at all is wrong with him.
He faked
Of course not.
Yeah.
So he's returned to the courthouse at 1:30 to commence sentencing because, sorry, asshole. So the jury here is asked by the defense attorney to impose a minimum 30-year prison term. That's the lowest he can get. 30.
Shit.
They said that, look, he's an insurance guy, unblemished record. He's got tons of civil activities. He chaired the local United Way campaign, for Christ's sake.
Okay.
Give him a break here. The prosecutor said that Maria Marshall had no prior criminal record either. Maria Marshall was civic-minded, and this defendant did not give her the option of 30 years.
Great point.
So the aggravating factors are the circumstances leading up to the whole deal with all the
hiring somebody else to do it.
Hiring, and the mitigating factors are, quote, Marshall's reputation as a citizen.
Okay.
Which means ugats here.
Yeah.
Is that a reputation just means what people think. So here we go. There's only 2 outcomes possible for Marshall here, and that is life sentence with eligibility of parole after 30 years or death by lethal injection.
Oh, shit. Jesus God.
So jury takes 90 minutes to come back and say, you, sir, may fuck off, death penalty.
We recommend death.
That guy, innocent, you kill him. Send him home with his wife. We're killing you. Big difference.
Oh, boy.
He becomes the 18th person on New Jersey's death row.
They grant it.
He's death penalty. That's what they got. That's what he got. So he's the 18th person here. He said that he said to his brother, Paul, take care of John, because John's only 16, his son, on the way out. That's it. Outside the courtroom, a friend of his spoke about this. He said this was a woman. Her eyes were welling with tears. She asked not to be identified. I'm sure he was having sex with her, though. She said, I'm just shocked. I don't know. It's just the impact of it. I know he's guilty. I know it. But when you hear it like that, the family, you just have to feel empathy for them.
When you hear it like that.
When you hear it like that.
You hear it like, you deserve death for this. It really hurts.
Yeah, it's great. She said for a moment here, she said the impact of the murder and trial has had on her community and the Toms River Country Club as well.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, where the woman and the marshals became friends. She said, quote, "We have nice people there. Nobody could believe that something like this would happen."
Really?
Yeah. They said, what would have happened? What would she have thought of all the events that happened after her death? Which is a weird question because unless she died, they wouldn't happen.
Yeah.
I don't know what that means. She said, quote, "It would have killed her," which is the funniest fucking response you could give to that. If she didn't die then, she would have died afterwards.
That's what they were looking for, right?
She was a goner.
They're like, just come on, say it. Come on, say it.
Oh, my God.
It would have killed her. Yahtzee! Fucking got it.
And then she said, quote, "Who would believe it? We know a murderer. Who would ever think it, that a friend is a murderer?" Maria's family, they speak out here. Oh, yeah. Her mother, Helen, was disturbed that he lied about all this stuff. And she said, "My husband and I are very, very upset. I've been upset ever since Maria died," which is fair. During the trial here a week ago, her dad, Dr. Pazinski, suffered a heart attack during the trial. He couldn't take it, that's tough.
It's terrible.
They said if the jury's verdict in convicting Marshall of conspiring to kill her daughter was fair, she said, "I don't know." She doesn't know.
Great point.
She also said she was uncertain when asked if she believed Marshall was responsible. She said, "I don't know what happened. Someone killed her."
Yeah.
Yeah. They said that Marshall told her that and her husband that the newspaper reports before the trial about him having an affair were untrue. During the trial, though, he admitted to having an affair, obviously. Yeah. She said he wasn't telling us the truth. He said he didn't have a girlfriend. Yeah, no shit. So anyway, a friend of theirs here, he says that, look, Rob probably killed his wife. This is fucking great. This guy's from Philly. He goes, "But not for a broad." He said, quote, "Rob was always with other women. Women didn't mean that much to Rob. Money did."
Whoa, how about that, Saran, and all those broads in Florida? How do you feel now?
How do you feel exactly? He said, "Whether it was with the tennis, the parties, or plying people with booze, control is something Rob always had to have. And when he didn't have it, he found a way to get it. He couldn't divorce Maria. That would have led to other possibly messy legal complications. So he found another way."
Wow.
Yep. They also said he was absolutely obsessed with Saran. I don't think, though, that he would have ever been able to confront the family and say, "I don't love you, I'm leaving."
Uh-huh.
So like Rob always did, he looked for another way to get around it. It had to be Saran, another acquaintance said, because, all of that kind of shit. So in the days and weeks, that one friend said all he ever heard about was Saran, Saran, Saran. That's all he would talk about. So in the aftermath here, Robert Cumber is tried for his part in the murder.
Yeah.
In June of '86, he's offered a deal in which he would go free after pleading guilty to conspiracy to commit insurance fraud.
What?
This is from a murder charge.
He'd
go free.
Insurance
no jail
fraud.
time.
Wow.
He says, "No, I'm not taking your fucking deal."
Yeah, let's go
Fuck
to trial.
you. So they went, "Okay, fine." And then he said, you're going to convict me. If you do that, I'll file a lawsuit for false arrest, all this shit. Instead, he's found guilty of conspiracy to commit murder and sentenced to life in prison. He went from no jail time, you're done, to life in prison in fucking Louisiana.
Whoa, Jesus Christ.
In 2006.
Yeah, because he did it on the phone.
Yes, that's yeah. So I
Wow.
mean, in 2006, he received clemency after serving almost 20 years of his sentence. Oh no, he served it in New Jersey though.
Okay.
He returned to Louisiana, and he was blind in one eye, and he said no one but his wife and daughter would still talk to him.
Good.
His wife stuck around for 20 years. Billy Wayne McKinnon testified in that trial. He was then sentenced by Judge Greenberg to 5 years in prison, but served only 3 months after being paroled in accordance with his plea agreement.
Unbelievable.
Jesus Christ.
And he was present. He was absolutely present, right?
Absolutely. He then entered the Federal Witness Protection Program, but stayed in it for only 2 weeks because he found it constrictive and it cramped his style, he said, so he went back to Louisiana. Saran resigned from her vice principal position shortly after all of this. She and her husband reconciled, and I shit you not, opened a chain of Blockbuster video stores.
I hope it bankrupted her.
No shit. No, in the 80s, she killed it.
Yeah, she killed it.
But then eventually they left New Jersey and moved to Florida. So they probably sold them all. They probably made a fucking fortune.
She has Blockbuster video money.
How crazy is that?
Unbelievable.
Right on trend, though.
Yeah.
1987, Maria's father, Dr. Vincent Pazinski, suffered a heart attack. Then he recovered. He said he planned to look after his grandsons and protect them from their snake of a father.
Oh.
But in February of 1987, he suffered a second heart attack that was fatal.
Yeah.
So he's dead. And then Maria's mother, Helen, died in 1995 after living for about 6-7 years with senility. So
Jesus
dementia.
Christ, poor thing.
Larry Thompson, after being acquitted, he had driven to the Marshall home in Toms River to get his wife's belongings. While there, he talked to the press assembled outside wearing a red Philadelphia Phillies baseball cap. He found it inside and just put it on. It was Maria's. He stole Maria's hat.
What a dick.
What a dick. You can't just take people's shit here. After returning to Louisiana, him and his wife filed a $50 million lawsuit against the prosecutors and the investigators for the violation of his civil rights by malicious prosecution and wrongful arrest. Following a 2-week trial, they said, go fuck yourself. You're not getting a dime.
Good.
He wrote a letter later to John Marshall, Maria and Rob's youngest son, telling him that he was welcome to come visit the Thompson family or even live with them if he wanted to stay down there for a little while.
What?
He didn't.
Yeah.
Okay. 1989. A book called Blind Faith by Joe McGinnis comes out and becomes a huge bestseller.
Yeah.
Because this is a fucking wild story.
Yeah.
They called it in Cold Blood, but like the upper class fucking
real.
marriage version of it.
Even
well, in Cold Blood was
blood.
real.
Yeah.
Even colder. We had an episode called Even Colder Blood, based because it was they imitated Truman Capote's book on purpose. Writer Joe McGinnis attended the trial. He published the book, became a bestseller, and then was adapted into an Emmy-nominated 1990 miniseries of the same name, starring Robert Urich.
What?
Robert Urich.
Yeah.
You know who he is? What was he on that? He was on that one show. You'd know him if you saw him. He was an 80s action star. I never watched the show, but
action star?
Not action, but he was on a TV show where he was like a detective or some shit. I don't know, whatever. And Joanna Kearns, who's the mom on Growing Pains.
Oh, yeah.
Is there.
Yeah.
Also more people, because we'll talk about this here.
Oh, yeah, Robert Urich, there he is.
You see him.
Handsome face.
Focuses primarily on the 3 children, Robbie, Chris, and John. Here, the executive producer bought the rights to Blind Faith before McGinnis had even finished the book. Wow. They said it'll be very accurate because Robbie Marshall, who has a degree in communications, asked to be a part of the project and has worked as a consultant on all phases of production.
Oh, shit, it's super accurate.
It's accurate. Robert Urich said, he was at my side to say, my father was very nervous. The ice cubes began to shake in the glass when he was questioned about knowing a man from New Orleans. So he was giving him just little tips here. Now, the Marshall sons, Robbie, he had moved out to California, served as a consultant for the miniseries. While there, he became close with actress Joanna Kearns, the mom on Growing Pains. Probably a mother figure type of deal. She portrayed his mom, too.
Right. Yeah.
She portrayed Maria. She introduced him to her on-screen daughter, Tracy Gold, who played the sister on fucking Growing Pains.
Yeah.
And they ended up being married in 1994 and have 4 kids together.
And they're still together?
Robbie and Tracy Gold. Yeah.
Wow.
That's weird. And she had all those eating disorders that was on the cover of all that. But this whole time she was there.
She's been married to that kid.
He works as a teacher in California. That's what he does.
Hilarious.
Chris Marshall graduated from Lehigh. He was the varsity swim coach there before becoming Cornell University's senior vice president of alumni affairs.
Wow.
John Marshall, he thought his father was innocent. He was the young one at the time. He was only 13. He married at 17.
Who'd he marry?
And who knows? And became a father to a daughter that was given the middle name of Maria. Oh. He's, of course, now a divorced father of 2. Yeah. And he continued, though, to support Rob through the appeals process.
Fascinating.
Yes. 1991, the state Supreme Court, upheld Marshall's sentence. This is after the state Supreme Court of New Jersey had reversed 27 straight death sentences. They said, fuck you.
We're leaving yours.
Yep, they called the prosecution's case weighty and compelling.
Uh-huh.
So, he said they had to take a position on the death penalty, and they chose my case to do it with because I'm a white middle-class guy. They didn't want an indigenous. They didn't want a poor black defendant to be the first one.
Oh my God!
You're also a huge asshole.
Yeah.
He did a 2001 jailhouse interview as well, and it's just a load of shit. It's a huge load of shit. He said, I'm trying not to say that I didn't do something stupid, but I had nothing to do with my wife's death. I feel responsible for it, of course, because if I had not messed around, blah, 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 blah. That's the whole interview.
Had I not hired a man, she'd be alive.
Yeah, it's fucking ridiculous. They said, well, what do you do here? He said he spends time with his cellmate, Jesse Timaquendas, who was sentenced to death for raping and strangling a 7-year-old. What do you do? We read and watch TV and write. Well, he sounds like a lot of fun, that guy. I can't wait to sit in a fucking room with that guy forever. Jesus Christ. Afternoon. Holy shit, that's worse than anything else. They go on. They also said that he has a website around 2002 for people who think he's innocent, supporters of Marshall. Here a website. You can make donations. The Canadian Coalition Against the Death Penalty sponsored the websites, as they do for numerous death row inmates. Whether you did it or not, they don't care. So the website, which was last updated in 2002, featured an anonymous letter that indicated McKinnon lied about Marshall's involvement, and county investigators helped him prepare his confession. So it was ccadp.org/Robert Marshall. That was the website. Rob comes out with a book in 2002.
Holy.
A book called Tunnel Vision, Trial and Error.
Uh-huh.
It's an attempt to show that he was framed and not guilty, is all it was.
Oh, man.
Now, Son of Sam law prevents him from profiting from this, but it doesn't prevent his son John from publishing and marketing it and making the money off of it.
Really?
And that's what happened. Yep, that's exactly what happened. So in Tunnel Vision, he writes that she cried out, "Oh my God," as he was hit from behind, and when he woke up, that's what happened. So he does that kind of shit there. He also maintains that it was his wife who said to pull over in the picnic area.
Oh,
that's it. He said it was his wife. I didn't even want to pull over.
I just do what my wife says in putting us in endangered spots.
Yeah, it's fucking.
She says, "Pull over in the darkness." You got it, babe.
Yeah. There is a guy named Robert Latore, who's a Seaside Heights publicity director. He said that he's been visiting him for some reason. And, he said he doesn't think he got a fair trial. He said, I don't know if he's guilty or innocent, but it sure does stink. They never looked for the gun. The tire was cut, according to the police. So it's all bullshit, he says. He goes, quote, "He may be a son of a bitch, but I didn't know being a son of a bitch was a capital offense."
Wow.
Which is a great line, by the way. That's a great line.
Yeah.
Robert, in his appeals here, he sits on death row for 18 years, and then in 2004, he is granted a new sentencing due to a federal court decision regarding ineffective assistance of counsel on his case. So they say you got ineffective assistance of counsel. So you, sir, are resentenced to 30 years with the possibility of parole in 2014.
Okay.
Now, Larry Thompson returned to Louisiana after all this.
Yeah.
He ended up returning to his crimes because in 2003 he's convicted for his part in an armored car robbery and the attempted murder of a Shreveport police officer.
Oh, that'll put him in jail forever.
In 2014, at the age of 71, after serving 12 years of his 50-year sentence, he admitted that he was the trigger man that shot Maria Marshall.
What a scumbag.
They can't try him for double jeopardy, but he fucking admitted it. He tried to sue the state over that.
Wow.
He told this to a retired chief from the Ocean County, New Jersey prosecutor's office.
What a dick.
He admitted his witnesses, including his wife, son, and brother, who claimed he'd been in Louisiana at the time of the murder, had lied on the stand to give him an alibi.
Well, what about that?
He said that he simply answered, "Yes, I did," to the questions. He said he fired 2 gunshots that killed her and all that. He said that the prosecutor said there's no legal avenues we can pursue because our laws say we can't fucking pursue this, but, it might give people some closure anyway to know this. He also admitted to a bank robbery, 33 night depository box robberies, 3 armed car robberies, and burning down 2 businesses, a former meat market and a residence in Louisiana. Oh, he also offered up the solution to a 1979 cold case for which he had long been a prime suspect, where a 32-year-old woman named Deanna Montgomery had been sitting in the passenger seat of a car driven by her husband when she was killed by a shotgun blast to the back of her head.
Wow.
She was a pretty blonde whose husband had taken out huge life insurance. Same exact situation. They also, at the time, thought he was involved, but he said he was in Montgomery with friends and they couldn't prove it.
Wow.
So he was sentenced, there. He also confessed to 2 other murders. Larry Wayne Lester, who he shot to death on June 15th, 1988 in Dolet Hills, Louisiana, and Chester Underwood, who he also shot to death on June 25th, 1979 in Harrison County, Texas.
That's a bad man.
He then said, I'm not going to give any more details, but that's not all of them. I've killed a lot more than that.
Yeah.
He's a hitman is what he is. Within days of all of this, and he had gone to their house and wore Maria's hat and everything.
Yeah.
That piece of shit. Now,
and offered the kid to stay with him.
Scumbag. One of the kids, one of his sons, meaning Rob's son, said that he had heard that his father got remarried in prison by some woman who was infatuated with him after the murder, but the Department of Corrections says that he never got married, so we don't know. As 2012, he wants his sentence to be reduced, Marshall does, complaining in court documents that he suffers from, this is a list, diabetes, hypertension, dementia, hemorrhoids, athlete's foot, and a postnasal drip. I shit you not. That's in court documents. My ass, my feet, I got a drippy problem. Also these things, like I don't know where I am.
The nose is just,
God.
That's hysterical.
That's hysterical.
Also,
that's the funniest list of things
If it
ever.
helps, my nose is dripping.
I got a little drip happening. It's annoying. You know what I mean? A little Sinex or something. I got to take care of that.
Oh, my God.
So for his parole hearing, his son Christopher testified on behalf of the brothers and said, we feel he should stay in prison forever.
Wow.
Okay. Now, there tons of letters came into the parole board too, unsolicited from the public. Just people who knew, hang the bastard. That would be too good for him. Fuck that guy. A couple people said they should let him go. Really? A couple people said you should let's let him go. I think Robert served his time and should be paroled. One woman read about here. They said, why should other people get off when he gets away with it? So they think he's going to get paroled here, and then February 21st, 2015, he fucking drops dead. So no parole for you. Yay!
The drip was too much.
That's it. He had a stroke and poor health. He's 75 and he died.
I hope he drowned on the drip.
That would be amazing. That's incredible.
Stop. My lungs are filling up.
The prosecutor said it's obviously one of the most sensationalized cases I've been involved with. Now, the guy who saw the car pull off the road and didn't go help.
Yeah.
He said, my first impression was that the man got out and opened the door for his wife. That drew my attention. He said that I asked him later, he watched a man at one of the tables placing bets without sitting down. That man was McKinnon. I asked him if the spot was open, and with a southern accent, he said yes. McKinnon was the only person who looked suspicious a little bit, like he was watching a little. He wonders whether things would have turned out differently if he had stopped at the picnic area. He considered it, but remembered Marshall was acting weird in the casino and continued on home.
He said, just shot you too, man.
That's what I mean. He said, if I would have pulled off and went behind them, they might have aborted it. On the other hand, they might have done it some other time. So who knows? Yeah. A lot of this came from a very good article that had information that other people didn't have called The Shooting of Maria Marshall on Medium.com by Lori Johnston. So I have to give credit where credit's due there. And also good job by Allison here on this one. So there you go. That is Toms River Township, New Jersey.
What a place.
Crazy story. If you enjoy that story, tell the world about it.
Uh-huh.
Get on whatever app you're listening on. Give us 5 stars. It really does help. Head over to shutupandgivememurder.com right now. Get your tickets for December 2nd, live show in Dallas. A few tickets left, so get them right now before they're all gone. Thanks for all that you do for us, obviously. Thanks for the virtual live show, for showing up for that. Also, Patreon, patreon.com/crime and sports. Anybody, $5 a month, you get it all. All the bonus material. Crime and sports, small town murder. This week, what you're going to get, tragic story for crime and sports. Donnie Moore fucks up in a baseball game. Whole life falls apart.
Great.
For the small town murder, Menendez brothers.
Hey!
Need I say more? Shit,
go.
no. Patreon.com/crime and sports. Get in there and follow us on social media at Small Town Murder on Instagram, at Small Town Pod on Facebook, at Murder Small on Twitter.
Right.
And what you get also with your Patreon is a shout out. Jimmie,
bet.
sing me the names of these people. I want to hear them at the top of your register. Sing me the names of the most wonderful goddamn people on the face of the earth. Hit me with them now.
This week's executive producers are Bethany Comenine, I don't know, BK, that's her name.
BK. Thank you, BK.
Kyle Norwig and the Lewiston Police Department. His cousin's a Lewiston Police. He's a police. And everybody in Maine. Mainers, remain safe. Thinking about you. Other executive producers, James Smith in Virginia. Susan Sauer, happy birthday. Giving it to us both ways. Thank you, Susie. Aaron Thompson. You guys are what
you
make
better
this
thank
world.
her more.
Yeah.
Anyone who gives it to you both ways, thank them more than that, first of all. But we thank you for your donation, Susie.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Other producers this week are Lamont Sanford. Oh, you know who that is.
Right.
Yeah.
Big dummy.
The son, yeah. Ned Braden, rising hockey star. I believe that's from Slapshot, right?
That is
Braden?
absolutely,
Yeah.
yes, he is. He is.
Liz Vasquez, Maxwell Davis, Zach Bowles, the fucking trellis guy, I guess. But he says he's not the trellis guy. I don't. Zach,
it's a different trellis guy.
Figure it out.
How
Peyton
many
Meadows,
trellis guys do we have?
Joy Nix, Scott Adanasio, he's in Poughkeepsie. Janice Hill, Harry Cockburn, Sharon Jones, Aaron would know last
Harry
name.
Cockburn.
Harry Cockburn, James.
It's very mature. You happy now? You happy, everybody?
Very mature. Kim Trogger, Frankie would know last name. Chris Fuentes, Mia B, Priscilla Mo Roberts, Mick Roberts. That's a C. All right. Sammy Highsmith, Phil Baird, Jade O'Hare, Elizabeth Volk, Shane Hirschman, True Blue, Lauren Jones, Emily McKenzie, Christina Ward, Kim Sewell probably, Abigail with no last name, Carrie Redaglia, Amber Bach, all right, Deb with no last name, Angie with no last name, Amethyst Rose, Connor with no last name, Oscar Gomez, Caitlin Bentley, Andrea Rose, Amber Nedrow, Amanda Debrosy. Debrosia, I don't know.
Well, thank
Spencer,
you, whatever
Sorgan.
the hell your name is.
Daniel Jesse, Graham Matthew Owitkin, Cordero Mack with no. Oh, that's a last name. Kurt Gaskins. I wonder if that is a. All right, that's a. Maybe. Have you heard of Pee Wee? That's a terrible person.
Yeah.
I wonder if Kurt's a member. Mike the Night Logger by trade, Noble. Colin Stisha, Ann Shepard Young, Matthew McCoy, Gigi with no last name, Jim Matthews, Andy Miller, Bunny 469. Oh, is that right? What was that? Bunny 469. That was somebody's. It was a name of somebody in some. But that's who it is. Bunny 469. She'll do it.
She'll do it.
Abby with no last name. Chris Finch. Lisa Alanis. Alanese. Charles Jewell. Lori Lee. Matthew Caruso. Stephanie Bales. Jordan with no last name. Columbo Kane. Gabrielle Prohl. Maybe Ricky's kid. Willie Reed. Remember him?
Little blonde kid running around.
Yeah. Angel Clagis, Hannah Martin, McCleasy with no last name, Laura with no last name, Lisa with no last name, Susan Gahagan, Colin Orzini, Lisa Taylor, Cindy Greenig, Tyler Miller, Kat Van Dam, Scotty Gaviel, I think, Tim Tebow, James.
Oh.
Tim Tebow.
Yeah.
I don't believe it for a second, but
no, it could be
it's
someone
possible.
else named Tim Tebow.
No, it might be. Yeah, Sarah
I don't know why
Taylor.
he would like us because we hate him.
I specifically despise for tearing down.
I don't care about football. I'm just tired of hearing from him. Leave us all alone, Tim.
Sarah Taylor, Aaron Swank, Grindstone Donkey Jr., Sienna Montgomery, Gary Oates, Todd Poling, Ethan Roving, Stephen Perez, Zoe with no last name, Michelle Villada, Vincent Maycock, maybe, Brenda Lenahan Wegner, Carol Andradesi, I think, P. Gabrashak, Jara Sturdivant Wilson, Janelle, Liz Jones, Jen with no last name, Jenny B, Ebony Gonzalez, Daniel Tadich, Cecile with no last name, Tanya Schmidt. This show brought to you by the letter D. Stephanie with no last name, David Kobe, Shawnee Boswell, Eric Maxwell, Katie with no last name, Cherie Boughton, Andrea Baker, Baker, Ashley Smith, Anita Cocapino.
Yeah.
Cocapin me? Oh, cockapin me. Good for you, Anita.
I like how you tried to pronounce it like it was a fucking Spanish name, though.
Then I figured it out.
Cocapino.
I coughed you up.
You
Vicky Dugan, Caitlin Copra, Sparks with no last name, Nick with no last name, Ginyata, Alex Kingsley, Carrie C., Jessica Davis, Clayton Whitmore, Gavin Fitzgerald, Nicole Brooks, Brian Staffelt, Casey Davis, Carrie Isaacs, Keon Weems, Jordan Shebley, Tasha Larson, Mary Jeffers, Chris Weber. All right, probably not. Tay with no last name.
Weber
possible.
And
hey,
week,
listen, fucking timeout. Amber Meeker, Lori with no last name. Jody with no last name. Joe G94, Zach Wolf, Casey Moulin, Hannah Birchfield. Elizabeth Putney, Kelsey Strach, Chris Russell, Daniel Lawrence, Colin Smith, JC Loper, Sarah May, Susie Sauer. Oh, that's Susie again. Dylan Derringer, John Lorian. Oh, boy. Taylor Dykoff. All right, maybe. Carol Lawfer, Lotier. Lotier. All right. Lisa Klingen, Michael McCall, Wilcox, Pearl, Loika Garbiel, is that right? Eileen Sullivan, Lacey Barnett, Carletta Watkins, and all of our patrons. You're fantastic. Thank you.
Thank you so much, everybody, for all that you do for us. We cannot thank you enough, and we appreciate the shit out of you. Hope to see you at a live show. You want to follow us on social media? Very easy to do. It's on the website. There's a pull-down menu with all that shit. Keep following us. And until next week, everybody, it's been our pleasure.
Bye.
If you like Small Town Murder, you can listen early and ad-free now by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts. Prime members can listen early and ad-free on Amazon Music. Before you go, tell us about yourself by filling out a short survey at Wondery.com/survey.
Big news. Wayfair's President's Day clearance is on. Right now through February 18th, get up to 70% off everything home with free and easy delivery straight to your door. It's kind of like a present from Wayfair. President's Day? Okay, we'll keep workshopping that. And while we're workshopping, you should be real shopping at Wayfair. Like now, before it's too late. Save on quality furniture for every room in the house. Appliances, mattresses, cookware, home decor, rugs, wall art, sofas, spatulas, table lamps, toaster ovens, dining sets, outdoor sheds, and... you get the idea. Trust us, this is the sale to score amazing end-of-season savings at Wayfair. And the bow on top of Wayfair's President's Day deals? Free and easy delivery straight to your door. Now that's a present. So don't wait. Shop Wayfair's President's Day clearance right now through February 18th at Wayfair.com and save up to 70% off Wayfair's best deals since Black Friday.
Wayfair, every style, every home.